Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is that time again. We are back live on the air, recording on the mic for another episode of From the Sidelines, episode 125. Holy crap, we're getting there. It's already a quarter of the way towards 200. Time does fly when you're having fun, and we've had a lot of fun over here on the podcast recently. We've been having some great episodes. Again tonight, we are without a guest, but we got the boys back in town. Man, there's just so much to talk about when it comes to the paintball side. Moves are happening constantly, hour by hour, day by day, and we will get into all of those in just a few minutes. But before we do that, we got to bring in our co-hosts who are here every week on the show. First up, let's bring in my guy, Steven Hatch. Man, we've been here from the beginning. 125. How you feeling about it?
Feels like yesterday I was recording episode 100. Feels so crazy, you know?
Well, that one wasn't that long ago. 25 weeks ago. That was less than a year ago.
But even still then, right? 125, when you said that number, it just feels distant now, you know? 100. Now
that is true.
25 weeks have passed. Half a year.
Yeah, no,
it's crazy.
It was just about halfway year. It was a little bit over 6 months, whatever the time is.
Math.
Let's bring in our other co-host, who might be a little better at the math because he's a surgeon, by the way. Brando Baird, how you doing, buddy? Just wanted to put that disclaimer out there.
We're good. Yeah, we're amateur. Let's go amateur surgeon.
Amateur, right. Okay.
I'll take the title. People call me a doctor, Dexter? Call me a surgeon, whatever. I'm
D4
amateur.
Surgeon.
D4, if that. Yes.
D4 surgeon.
Hey, mark it down right now. Dink. 12/17. My uploads at 79%. So looks like we're doing good. My internet's hanging in there.
Damn.
Brandon, the recording's been going for 10 minutes, and you're already that far behind. Me and Hatch are at 99. We're pinged there. God damn, we gotta get you better internet.
You guys can see your percentage? Mine must be at 100. Mine must be done.
Okay, Hatch. Let's keep it on moving, guys. We got to tell everyone about our sponsors before we get on into the rest of the show, because we do have a lot to talk about. So let's get into this real quick. First up, we got Liquid IV tonight, and we actually got a special little gift from them. This came to my door a few days ago. It was a Jenga advent calendar, and every day I was supposed to remove one and take out the Liquid IV packet that is so conveniently hidden inside. Well, the whole thing fell over really quickly because I have a very unsturdy table. So this is the box for today. I'm going to pull it open, and yeah, we don't have a huge whole Jenga calendar, but let's see what flavor is inside. Every day it's been something different.
What you got?
It could be one of their sugar-free flavors. It could be one of their immune support, one of their energy flavors. They have a whole bunch of different options, and all of them are going to be available online at their website, liquidiv.com. Let's see what we got today. We pulled, it's almost like a pack opening at some time. We got a pear. No, pear. I actually, which is good because I have not tried this flavor, so I will be able to make one up. I got a water bottle with me, and we can try that live on air. But if anyone out there is interested in Liquid IV and wants to try some out for themselves, you know, us here on the show, we always recommend the lemon lime, the Concord grape, the rainbow sherbet, the bomb pop. There's a lot of great flavors available on their website, liquidiv.com. Use promo code Mafia_Mafia. You're going to save 20% off and get free shipping at checkout. Let me go ahead, throw this in here. I'll make this Liquid IV real quick, and I'll let you know what I think.
Do you guys remember that old Vine that was like, shout out to all the pears? You guys remember that? It's like some OG Vine.
I do not.
Yeah, you lost me, dog.
All right, I'll find it.
Is there a Vine boom in that? Do we get the boom?
No. Maybe. Oh, I got you. Shout out to all the pears.
God, the condensation on this water bottle was insane. All right, let's try out this flavor. Liquid IV, pear, first time taste on the show.
Pear flavor. All right, watch his eyes. Watch it. Let's let it ruminate.
Ooh.
I
like that.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah, it's gonna suck because the only flavor I can give you is pear. It's like a ripe pear, like a green. What is that? A barlet pear? I forget the actual variety name, but yeah, no, that's a really great flavor. I definitely enjoy that. I'm gonna be sipping on that tonight, staying hydrated, keeping my immune support. So yeah, we definitely appreciate Liquid IV. Thank you for sending me some flavors to try out. Might be adding that one to the rotation. I very much enjoy that. I hope you, you guys got to try that out in the future. Let's keep it moving forward. Talk about our next sponsor on the table. We got NECTR Energy. I have one of these in as well. NECTR.energy, the awesome little energy pouch. If you see the product, it might remind you of something like a Zyn, maybe a tobacco pouch, something along those lines. The big difference is there is no caffeine or no caffeine. There is no nicotine or tobacco in this product, but there is caffeine and a neurotropic, a little Freudian slip there. And it will keep you pepped up and good to go, focused on the task at hand. Maybe you need a little step up in your day. It works well as like a pinch if you don't have an energy drink nearby. They're also a lot healthier of an alternative to those type of products. So yeah, NECTR Energy. There's some great products online at NECTR.energy. They have the pouches there as well as some of their other brain kind of neurotropic supplements that they've been working on. Great group of guys behind the company over there. We definitely appreciate their support over here on the podcast. So go check out NECTR.energy, NECTR.energy, promo code MafiaProductions over there on their website. You're going to get a buy two, get one free. So buy one, get one free. Throw 3 items in your cart, and yeah, you're only going to be paying for 2. Let's go. Next up, we got Welts Clothing, weltsclothing.com. Head on over there. Welts Wednesday, first Monday of the month. We're getting on close to the next to the new year 2024. We're gonna have more drops from them. Excited for that. But every first Wednesday of the month, make sure you go check out their website, see what they have on offer. They also got stuff available all the time as well. Brandon's throwing his hat on as he does every week.
Oh yeah, 2 frames a second.
The audience will see it, all right? Don't worry about that, Hatch. Don't break the illusion, the fourth wall. But yes, we do love the brand and kind of what they stand for and how they're helping to support the Texas paintball community down here. So go head on over, check out weltsclothing.com. You're probably going to find something you enjoy and want to pick up. Use promo code FTS at checkout when you do. And yeah, shout out to Scott Stewart and the boys over there at Welts Clothing. We appreciate your guys' support on the show. All right, without further ado, guys, let's get right on into this. There has been so much taking place in the professional paintball scene. There's been rumors, there's been moves, there has been actual things happening, there's been brands or teams rebranding. It has been kind of chaotic so far. Let's go. I guess we'll start with the first one tonight. I pulled up the first team rebranding I saw this week. It looks like was it the Brooklyn Bears, correct?
Yeah,
it was the Brooklyn Bears. I forgot to write down that part, which I should have. But the Brooklyn Bears have announced they are going to be changing their name back to NRG Elite, which is what they were before them and the Bears organization decided to kind of join their teams together. And with this, it does seem that the Brooklyn Bears organization is going to kind of be moving out. A lot of the same players are going to other teams in the league, and they're going to be staying in. But it does seem that I wouldn't say famous, but it's a pretty big name, in our sport.
Definitely.
That's been in the divisional teams side for a while. There's, a lot of good players that have come out of that Brooklyn Bears camp over the years. So definitely sad to see that team go, but it is cool to see NRG Elite coming back in. We know, even in the earlier days when I was filming DMG back in 2017, I was watching NRG teams, try to earn their way up through the divisional ranks. So it is kind of cool to see another divisional type program like that have a team that bears their name in the pro, ranks. But yeah, man, what do you guys think about the change back over to NRG?
I think it makes a lot of sense because I'm pretty sure the 3 dudes that we talked about last week that went to Shock from Brooklyn Bears, I'm pretty sure those were the guys that originally changed that whole team
Brooklyn
from
guys, yeah,
originally changed that whole team from Seattle Thunder to Brooklyn Bears, right? And pretty sure, yeah,
because that was the original team that came together. It was Thunder and then a couple players, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna take over Thunder. We're gonna change it to the Bears," and now it's the Bears. And then was it last year or 2 seasons ago that they merged with NRG?
Yeah, I think it was last year because they sold their spot. The NRG Elite sold their spot to Blast Camp. And they merged with the Bears.
And that spot is also now going in the rotation one more time again.
That specific spot, bro, has been tossed around, bro.
No one wants it. Pretty much since TMG Outlaws sold it. That's kind of what that spot is. It's just like going to the Saints and then going to someone else. And then, yeah.
I think it also makes a lot of sense for them to also go back to NRG Elite because the Buffton brothers, I'm pretty sure those guys are all, in command of that whole ship now. So I think it'll be good for them. I think they still got the same van, so they don't got to change vans.
yeah, they do.
That is true,
right? And I know this because, dude, it seems every fucking hotel we ever go to, we were at the same hotel with the NRG Elite guys. So we're like, oh, the NRG guys are here because we see their van, their white van with the camo decal on the side.
I was gonna say, if you've ever been to an NXL event, it's like when the Cyclones were going to events or not.
Oh,
was it Cyclones or Demolition?
Holy shit, dude!
Cyclones.
Whatever happened to their whole bus? Whatever happened to
the
their whole
is
bus?
gone, dude. But,
What
but
the
yeah,
fuck?
the Energy van, the Cyclones bus, there's some staples out in the NXL parking lots that you'll see from time to time.
Dude, I gotta ask my friend what happened to that bus. We gotta
What happened? Where's the bus?
We gotta turn that into an FTS bus, boys.
Copy. We're gonna need to find that bus. Roger.
Yep. I think that we should get the FTS bus, bro.
The
And then-
FTR. Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't know where we would
I
store
need
it.
that. Like, here comes the money. Because we
Yeah.
do not have the money to buy that, my guy.
Fuck no, we don't.
need more.
but-
We need more people to be shouting us out. I've been seeing. It's a funny trend I'm seeing a lot recently. I've seen a lot of Austin Oni members talking about the Dan Shelley podcast. Which, don't get me wrong, great guy, great podcast. We love you, Dan Shelley. But a lot of these same Austin Oni members have never been talking about the FTS podcast, the same podcast that is on your jersey. So I would just say and try to remind these Austin Oni members who is going to be taking their media all year, and if
That's
they would
fucked
like
up.
to not just be shots of getting run down and actually would like to be in there. So
No,
just-
that depressed one where the guy
saying.
looked like the one fucking one of the
the
guys
snake?
from yeah.
This has nothing to do with Dan Shelley, by the way. This is on the Austin Oni members. I'm just keeping
Yeah.
track of who's called out for him and has not called out for the boys on the jersey. So just keeping notes.
No, that picture of that guy fucking in the snake laying there like a dead body. That
Yeah, it was a great photo.
Definitely reminded me of when Cedar took his mom for the very first time ever to play paintball, and he shot her right in the forehead and almost knocked her unconscious with it. It was
I don't
insane.
remember. I remember you guys talking about that at the time, but
Yeah. We'll get him back on. We'll get him back on here to tell that story in vivid detail sometime. But
no, Cedar's
goddamn.
never going to come back on. He's going to be like this weird
Oh,
legendary
okay.
ghost of like this, you have to go watch the old episode. And at one point, I'm going to take away that episode. So it'll be like, was Cedar ever on the podcast? The world may never know.
Oh, then we're gonna have to go into like the editing for all of the live shows because he was in a couple of those.
Yes, no, that's true. We'll
Okay,
get rid of
okay.
those moments as well. I mean, this is fine. We can do it. We can definitely gaslight our whole audience. We have proof this, Hatch. We have no problem with gaslighting the group of people who listen to us every week.
The problem is I don't want to do that, dude, because then everybody will hate us again, and I can't take it, bro.
Oh, well.
It was so much.
Oh no.
Killing Brando, that shit hurt my heart just to see people's reactions, and I'm like, fuck.
Killing him softly.
Yeah,
well, yes. But let's move back to paintball. I guess keeping on the NRG topic, makes sense to talk about another player that they just picked up as well. It was announced recently that Damian Vasquez is going to be going back to the pro side of things, and he's going to be playing for NRG Elite. Good to see that for him. Kind of a guy who's been having to do this up and down thing. I know probably his career choices limited his time and his open schedule and things along those lines. So it is cool to see that there is a pro team that's kind of willing to work with that.
Yep. They
looks
also
like a solid
picked
player.
up. They also picked up Ethan Adams from Baltimore Arsenal.
That is true.
Revo,
yeah.
Same, but different.
Well, I'm considering Revo everything before this year. So once they play one event as Arsenal,
Gotcha.
then it's Arsenal.
Honestly, just reading the Instagram, brother. Just reading the Instagram.
I know you
know
are.
what I'm saying?
But yes, they grabbed a couple new guys to bring over to their team, which makes sense because they did lose, like you mentioned earlier, those Brooklyn Bears players. A lot of them did go over to Aftershock. It seemed Aftershock was trying to reload their roster a little bit, losing out on a couple of their bigger players, unfortunately.
Well, that makes sense, like funding wise, right? If they're in Brooklyn to Chicago, that's not like you're not having to. Those guys aren't having to fly all the way over to the West Coast or anything like that.
But like, Chicago's ownership group lives out of Florida, so like, what are we talking about? It's not really like.
You know what? That's a valid point.
Oh,
Florida Aftershock.
Yeah, Florida.
No, it's
Florida
Chicago. It'll never be. Todd Adamson would be over his dead body.
Like, so talking about Aftershock, I heard that it hasn't hit the news, but I heard that Nick Slowiak is not with Aftershock because of sponsorship changes. So he's sticking with the die team somewhere.
Interesting. So does that mean we're about to see a new team that completely convert over to die?
Maybe.
I feel are we going to see a really big
Tampa
sponsorship change come out in the next
Bay
couple
Damage
days?
had some sponsorship issues at the end of last season.
They're all over the place. They have like everything on their jersey. I think that's just the way.
They literally are sponsored by the most diverse amount of companies. One of their companies made a post about it because it's like HK Soft Goods, HK Paint, Lux markers,
push masks.
I don't think
and then
they're
like
HK.
JT stuff.
I don't think
And then
they're
they have
HK paint.
the-
I think they're
Vulcan paint. Yeah, Vulcan paint. That's
Honestly,
right.
no. I realistically think that it's every single type of paint because I'm pretty sure they had because they can have access to any kind of paint that they have at the event.
So Hash, it was weird all because they were up and down all year. They were with GI for some of the events, and they were with HK for the rest of them. I think they only shot Vulcan at the last 2 events. That's what I think for that, because Vulcan really came on strong during the end of the year. I feel like their paint started to get better and better, which is good. We always like to see more competition in that field. To kind of, it's always good to kind of help diversify that for the player group.
Absolutely. And let me also just say, without a doubt, and this is not even me just saying this as a sponsored player from HK. This is me saying it as a genuine consumer of the game. The HK paint over the past years, dude, night and day. I remember when it used to, when back in the day, I would say
when
probably
they first started,
pre
it wasn't
2020.
great.
Yes, well, pre 2020, if it got over 100 degrees, your paint was sticking in the pod. Right?
Yeah, and then it was
like,
also
you would dump it and
constantly
then,
small too.
yes. Right. Oh, and then when it would,
not
with
like
the swell factor.
Yeah, and sorry, not like 6, 7, 9 small. No, like you're talking like it was like 6'5". It's like, what the fuck? It's supposed to be 6'8" cal. Like what? Everything's rolling through.
But post 2020, I don't know what it was, dude, but they really did get their formula really good. And me personally, I've never shot a bad tournament batch of HK paint like since then. At all.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they've definitely been stepping it up, and I think just in general, it's good to have people competing with GI's paint because, god damn it, just make a fucking paintball, GI. That's always going to be my biggest problem with you guys.
I agree. It's not that hard,
That's
bro.
why I
Come on.
love. Have you guys seen the Pro Paintball memes, or it's one of the
Point-and-proof
paintball
memes?
meme accounts? Yeah, I don't know if
I
it's
love
point and
those
proof,
guys.
but it's one of the meme accounts, and it's the Illuminati meeting, and it's Tom Cole as Tom Cruise going to talk with who really runs the league, and it's just all captioned as GI, and I love that, and it's very well put, and it's very well said. So the monopoly that runs the league, wake up, ladies and gentlemen. Core owns 85% of the companies in paintball.
I mean, fuck, dude. That's why I love HK, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
well,
shout out HK, shout out Welch, shout out Enemy of the State, shout out War, shout out anyone who's not a part of the monopoly. That's my opinion.
So it feels good to not be one of the sheeple. You know what I'm saying?
100%, dog. 100%. Wake up,
I'm just
sheeple.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Are we becoming an Alex Jones show real quick? Is that what I'm hearing? No,
The purple balls are making the players gay.
Wait, stop. Don't say anything until January the 14th, because then we'll let the show get demonetized with a special guest. I'm excited for that show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Conspiracy Theory episode. It's coming January 14th. Mark it on your calendars. It's going to be a great time. Guys, let's get back to paintball. We were talking about HK Army there, and that is kind of a great segue into our next move. From an HK Army team to a die team. So a lot of things we were just talking about. Unfortunately for Hatch, I know this one makes him sad. One of his favorite players in the league, MJU, Mike Urena, he's heading over to Russian Legion. Going to help kind of bolster their faster snake attack lineup. Kind of currently their main guy over there was Malloy, who, hate to say it, but dude's getting older. I think for the first time this year. No, he's not. But I think for the first time this year, we saw there was a time, it was one of the finals games where he just got shut down. And it just couldn't play. Then they decided to sit him because he wasn't able to produce and make things happen. And you never want to see that. Malloy is a legendary figure in this game, and hey, he's still a damn good paintball player. At any point in time, he could turn it on and you win a point for your team,
without a doubt.
But it does seem that the Russian coaching staff was like, hey, we want to bring someone in to kind of maybe give this guy a couple points off every now and then. Let those legs.
Yeah, not only do we want
back.
some guy, we want a fucking wrecking ball. We want arguably one of the greatest snake players. Right.
Which makes sense because Malloy doesn't play a very aggressive snake style. I mean, he
Very
can, but
methodical.
a lot of the times he likes to play a conservative, let's work through and kind of break you guys up.
And
whereas,
I think
Mike's the opposite.
And I think that it's perfect to pull him back to like a 2 or something. That's where he's even going to do better.
And if we're talking roster-wise, that frees J-Rab up to now go back to a 3. If he wants to be more of a quarterback, which I think he does for that team, I think he likes being able to set up, some of those really deadly weapons that the Russians have. So it makes even more sense to let him go play, in the back, hold aggressive lanes, and just be a communication, or just, UAV back there.
I think overall that's just adds a lot of depth to their roster. Right, and this is my speculation theory right here, right now. obviously with, you know, I don't want to segue into the move just yet because we haven't talked about it, but I definitely think that Russian Legion is not done. I think they're going to pick up one more player for sure. I'll say who, and I'll say who.
Interested to see who you think that is, because I don't like or what's the right way to say it? I don't know who you have in mind, so I guess I'm not. Right in chat, Hatch. Right in chat, because I don't know you don't want to spoil it, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm as confused as you are, audience. So MJU over there. Oh, okay. Now that you said it, yes, it's definitely making more sense.
Come on, dude. Come on.
Yeah, okay. You got me on that one. All right, my bad. I was out of the loop a little bit. And we will get to the move that is connected to that in a few minutes here. There was one more I wanted to do on the die side of things. We did see Jerry Caro and Frank Anatomaso move back over to the Ironman. So it looks like, that does make me happy to see that Jerry is going to find a new home in the league, even though it kind of, that worry went away after the whole NYX rumors and all that stuff that, they officially kind of came back. Jerry going to be on the Ironman, helping Brody Lewis out in the Snake over there, if Brody does return as well. I know Frank as well as another very versatile Dorito player. We've seen him play either both an aggressive style as well as he can hold up and be a smart player too.
Absolutely.
I think two great pickups there for the Ironman.
Yeah,
definitely good guys to add.
I'm excited to see Jerry in the Snake because he's aggressive. He's going to go forward.
Jerry, in my opinion,
Shane loves
Jerry is in the top 10% of Snake players in the league. I think Jerry doesn't get as much credit as he deserves.
I'd say top 15 for sure, easily.
Yeah, no, and that's why I'm saying, like, and dude, if you want proof, go watch his fucking 5-pack this year. You can say it's one play, it's kind of one moment in time, but I think it shows a lot of his paintball IQ and how he was able to break that whole move down and make it happen.
This is going to be
a controversial too.
This is a controversial take, right? But a lot of the games where I was watching a lot of Jerry Caro is he would make a move happen, he would go really far, and then nobody would be right there.
Be isolated,
right? Nobody would be right there. Then it's like a guy sneaks out, also sneaks out to the Snake.
I would definitely see CJ try at times.
Absolutely.
Then he
but sometimes CJ would be already too far gone in the middle, right? He'd be like, "Oh, Jerry's in the 50 Snake. Okay, sweet. Now let me release up the middle and cut off a better angle, right?" But then once Jerry dies, a guy fills out and then just fucking blowing up their entire side, and it's like, oh man. Right.
Yeah, and I guess that's maybe a criticism we could make of guys like Jerry and Archie. I hate to say it, they're both very two up and coming Snake players who've gotten a lot better in recent years. But I do think there's times, correct? But I do think there's times when they die when they don't need to. I think they've gotten used to trying to get it all done for their past couple of rosters that they've been on, and I think they could both benefit a little bit from understanding. This is when I put on the pressure. All right, I've got the pressure on. Boys, come help me now. I'll just protect myself and stay alive. I've done my job, instead of trying to go and find the next two bodies without getting teamwork. And you see that in divisionals all the time.
Now both of them have teammates behind them that will stay with them, will recognize
stay with them and
they're pushing, let's go.
Yeah, like, oh shit, Archie's moving. Okay, I'm with you, dog. Like, now just stay alive. Because, we need the Doritos to come help us, or we need a center attack to also, close this point out.
Whenever I'm playing behind Caden and I see him in the 50 Snake, I'm like, all right, well, how can I get him to that threshold of getting onto their side? All right, that's get closer to him to where at that point, where the guys are shooting at him, I'm right behind him just picking off neck packs and backs, what I'm saying? Some loaders, some barrel tips, right?
And it's not always in the Snake, right behind them. It's not always jumping in there with them. We saw in the World Cup field, a lot of the times that meant get up the middle and to that big center brick, because, all right, now I have a pretty safe, as long as they're not in the Dorito 50, I can essentially just hold down, any moves coming down the wire on our Snake guy.
Yeah, it's like my Snake guy, I'm guaranteeing my Snake guy's safety by being here, right? And if the guy does somehow come and get my guy, he's probably going to get a penalty and mentally pay for it because I'm going to light him the fuck up,
Yep.
So
yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we saw from that Zach Patient, Alex Goldman, whole type of moment is, trying to get the drop on him and got fucking lit up for it. Looked tough as hell, but yeah, that was, that good gun coverage to be able to make sure that Alex either A, made sure the trade confirmed happened, or B, they were able to draw a penalty because they got him on the rundown.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and another thing is, right, so with that whole Zach Patient mouse clip, right? if I'm seeing my guy get blasted so much, I'm like, psh, they're not shooting at me, bro. I'm fucking getting to that. I'm bumping up in the next snake knuckle. You know?
Yeah, we talked about it with that Evan Fernandez clip from back in the day. Mouse overshooting Evan walking out, and then Tyler just
lousy
right under
guys.
his lane.
Yep. And it's like, well, shit. It's like now your job as a paintball player just got even harder. Right.
And it's all your fault. You literally can't blame anyone else. It's
Yeah,
just like you wanted to go put a couple extra on a guy.
And it's not only is it your fault, it's your ego. You're like, I want to put paint on this guy. You know, I'm deliberately doing this. You know, and I don't know, love it or hate it, whatever.
You love your ego, Hatch. All right, well, let's keep moving forward. Shout out to both Frank and Jerry getting picked up by the Ironman. This is the next move that does kind of coincide with what you were talking about kind of later or earlier in the podcast. We have finally announced where Fedorov is going to go, and he is going to be moving back to play with some of his European friends, it seems like a little bit, or I don't know if he knows them or not, but guys from Europe. He's joining the Tauntaun FSU line that has been brought together to come over here for the States. It'll be kind of interesting to see what happens here. I do know
Fedorov played with Axel when they played on Art Chaos.
They played on Chaos together. They played on Legion together, I think. Or
I don't know.
That might have been before Axel's time.
No, okay. Axel got picked up by Legion.
They came for Art Chaos, and then Chaos broke up, and then...
You're absolutely right. I remember seeing Axel in the Russian jersey 2012.
I know, Axel did play for the Russians at one point. I just don't remember the times
I think that's when the Russians left to go to Heat.
Yeah.
And they picked up the French guys.
Makes sense. And that would also coincide with the Art Chaos years, which if you guys don't know anything about Art Chaos, go learn history of paintball. Russian super team that came together for 2 years and then broke the fuck up. This is a cool story. So Fedorov, I kind of see, one of two outcomes are likely. Shocker, I know. I think one is it is going to potentially loosen him up a little bit more to, obviously he's been with Heat for a long time, but there is, when you're with that same group of guys for a long time, some stuff can become stale, some
absolutely.
motivations can kind of get stagnant and, things can not be moving as much as when you get a spark of a new environment, a new team, a new structure that you have to fit into. So I could see maybe kind of a spark, a resurgence for a player like Fedorov, who is, dude, he's a fucking great paintball player. No one can take that away from him. But
the guy single-handedly has probably won more world championships than most paintball players ever.
Yeah, but if you told a kid who's joined in the last 4 years, they wouldn't know that at all, just based off his recent performances. And I don't think that speaks to the player, what he can be. But
Fedorov is a phenom, dude. Like Fedorov was that guy where you would hear Matty Marshall say Fedorov at least 20 times a match.
Yeah, Konstantin Fedorov, baby. Yeah.
Yep.
So yes, I guess the point I'm trying to go to is this could either be a good thing that revitalizes him, kind of brings him back into paintball in a big way, or this could potentially be, something you see with other sports organizations and kind of pros on their way out is that, starting to dive from team to team, trying to just stay in the game. Is that this for Fedorov at this moment? I don't know, and I'm not saying it is, but that's just, I think, to put it out there, that's kind of the two scenarios that are going to come from this. And we won't know until 3 or 4 months when the first event happens and some stuff starts to take place.
Absolutely. A big way on how I'm going to determine that myself is, if I ain't seeing Fedorov dance after he bunkers a guy, bro, what the fuck, dude? That's
if
when you
he
know
doesn't
shit's going
dive
down.
12 feet in the air to make it into the Dorito 1, the man's heart's not in it anymore.
If I'm not seeing Air Moscow every fucking point of FSU Tauntauns, bro, I'll be pissed.
You guys don't know what Air Moscow is? It's from a great Short Bus episode from back in the day.
I love Short Bus.
I will say, too, it's... crap. Literally just went away the second I tried to say that Short Bus
brother.
thing because fuck you,
Amen.
God damn it, you got in my head there, Hatch. But yeah, man, that's the Fedorov move. Brandon, do you have anything you want to say on the move?
Yeah, it sucks seeing him leave Heat. I think, I
think it was more than likely.
Yeah, I don't know what other
offseason.
team he would have gone to though. If it's not one of the big money teams and able to pay him. You didn't let me finish.
Okay.
If it's not one of the big money teams that's willing to pay for his flights and everything from Russia, and to pay a salary, right?
Is he back in Russia now? Because I know for a time he was living in the States because of all the the war and everything going on over there.
I mean, he's not permanent or anything. I think he gets like a work visa or something, but he has to go back every 6 months or so, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
4 months.
Okay.
Whatever it may be, but still, paying for everything for the man to live here, plus flying back and shit.
It's just, I guess it's just nobody knows. At least we don't know.
Yeah,
So.
I do also, I think the point needs to be, brought up because no one's really been talking about it with this Tauntauns FSU merger. The return of Diego Sanchez. If we're talking about bringing in money and being able to pay people, this is supposedly a guy who has money, or at least was able to convince people that he has money. I don't know. I mean, that's one of those scenarios in paintball I literally have zero information on.
Yeah, and
the whole Latin Saints blow up and everything that had to do with the Diego Sanchez situation. Seeing him back in the pro league is incredibly interesting to me. I'm surprised that Tom Cole did not take any stance to kind of bar him.
Someone must have really stuck their neck out.
But I would say as a league owner, if I was to see a man who kind of, in a way, scammed players of their contract of, you're going to make this amount for playing for this season and then never did that, I wouldn't want that guy to come back to my organization because that's only trouble, like there's nothing good that can come from that.
I think you're right, but maybe him playing with FSU in Europe, I don't know, maybe he learned some things, and proved himself maybe to be able to manage some aspect of running the team.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing to me is just the money connection sketchy as well. I mean, I know at the end of the day, Tom Cole really doesn't give a fuck. But
if the money's there, he does not care.
That's a great saying. But I mean, I guess accepting laundered money isn't a crime. No. Yeah. So as long as they can prove they're not connected, that's not a crime. Accepting stolen goods is a crime, but yeah, if you're just paid by laundered money, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they can't physically connect you, you're just accepting, money for your goods and services that you provide.
Sheesh.
Sure.
Valid.
Yeah.
That sounds foolproof.
Yeah, right? I'm a lawyer, 100%. So yeah, guys, that's the whole Tauntauns FSU situation. I am happy still to see, though, that Fedorov will be playing in, the American Division next year. Definitely a great player. And as we saying, Air Moscow and all that, very entertaining.
I want to see it.
Got to watch.
I need to see it. All the next generations of kids need to see it. Because, dude, it was okay. So let me just say, the two most exaggerated people who would dive are fucking Fedorov and Ollie Lang. Those guys would do the most insane, like full send, like scorpion dives that were so badass when I was like coming into the game first. And, like,
it's probably why Ollie limps most of the time now, I feel like.
That was his big belly.
I will say, when he came back to play, those couple events that he did. Man's body was looking rough, like he just and nothing to him, but he went hard for years.
He's not probably wasn't used to lugging around that much weight too. So
that's a good point. Probably got an extra 30 pounds from his playing career.
He was a hefty man. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he was one of those stick kids back in the day. All those Dynasty guys they were just, surfer kids. But yeah, so Tauntauns, FSU, Fedorov, great to hear. I guess another kind of, it's a smaller story, so we'll bring this one in before the last big one of the night. But it has been confirmed that both George McLean and Will Hennessy will be coming back for the NYX roster. Cool. Coaching staff brought them back. Love to hear that. George McLean, if you guys don't know, he's our boy over here on the podcast. So, definitely glad to hear that he's going to be back in the pro league. Great player. Dudu deserves it. There was issues early in his playing career with personality type things, but I think since he went to the NYX organization, it's been nothing but good things for him. And so, yeah, that's always one of those guys, I root for. I wish the best, knew the kid since he was 18 years old. So, yeah, man, happy to hear George is back. Also, Will Hennessy, great player for NYX, definitely, did put in work for them at times. So, definitely a guy that they wanted to have return for them. So, yeah, those two roster spots have been confirmed. confirmed.
I want to,
but yeah.
now that we got Harris back on NYX, I actually want to see like some motherfucking chirping.
I do too, and this is the one thing.
People are pussies.
Obviously, I just it's such a hard one for me. I disagree with Tom Cole a lot. There are things I agree with him on, but and there's always I try to be fair with him. When Tom does something good, I always want to be the first guy to say, yes, that's a good thing. Keep doing that. That's great. Mm-hmm. When he does something bad, I also want to call that out. I want it to be fair criticism. Telling players that they can't chirp and do the things that NYX of the days of yore did, I think is not great for the sport of paintball. I think that does diminish some of the entertainment value and, I hate to say it, but quote unquote, some of the drama that can come from sports in general. So yeah, that's when I wish he would revert on and kind of lean up a little bit and let players go at it a little bit more, as long as it's verbal and not becoming a physical altercation. I do understand there needs to be a line there.
Okay, so what's the difference between Harrison chirping at players versus like the paintball fit lady that blanking on her name.
She's technically a spectator.
That's the crowd.
Right?
You can't stop the crowd from yelling.
So that's I do see the point you're making, because yes, they're a very symbiotic thing there, but technically she is not a rostered member of Paintball Fit. She is not a part of their staff.
You can't tell a fan not to cheer.
She is a third person party.
How are you going to tell a player not to talk?
No, exactly. And honestly, I don't want to, condemn what she's doing, because I think it's cool.
I love it.
She's so openly supportive, and she's got her signs and the chants and stuff. So, I would love to see more fan bases like that for other teams. I think that's awesome. How much she supports the guys at Paintball Fit. She clearly, loves that franchise. That's kind of my thing, is like, let's open it back up a little bit, Tom, and let these guys have those moments of, God, I remember that one the other day where it's like, I think Harrison is World Cup like 2020, and he's like, you killed two of us off the break. You still lost the point. And he's like, and it's this great little clip of him just talking shit. And yeah, I love those moments like that. Those are the drama, and the things that I know people hate that word drama, but you need it in sports entertainment. It's sports entertainment.
And I felt like they fed off of that.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I look at it like whenever I'm in the stands, it's almost like a replicated paintball version of like Gladiators, where I'm like, I'm seeing these two teams go at it.
Cyrus appears out of nowhere.
Exactly. Exactly, bro. Are we not giving off the exact same vibes as a fucking Coliseum, bro? Are we not?
Dude, that was Cyrus spammed that emote at Cup, man. That was his go-to, like, just
absolutely
arms out.
Right, and I mean, for a while, NYX's was the loader dump. And now they ban that to where you'll get a fucking penalty if you loader dump.
Well, and it's funny because I think that was done because they started to see it grow out into the divisional side.
For sure.
And that's always funny to me too, because as much as I say let the pros talk shit, if you're D4, shut the fuck up. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, you're playing for $1,500 off your next event. Like, and yes, people are going to get upset about that and say, well, why can't I do it if they do it? Because there is a difference. We let NFL pros do hits that if you do in high school, you'll get ejected for that season. The reason why? Because NFL pros are putting on an entertainment product, trying to entertain and make money for millions of people. There is a difference.
Everyone.
Okay, if we really want to make some money.
No, but that's a good point.
Find
Brandon.
the players, but make it like cheap as fuck.
Hatch, but I'm saying, like, that's a good point, because why the fuck were people fans of Ray Lewis? Because the motherfucker put dudes on their ass.
He murders people.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay, he did that off the field too.
Yeah.
But no, because it was all within the rules of the game, and the reason why they let him do that is because he's making millions of dollars. The players against him are at least making the league minimum of $250. You can say that's not enough or whatever for the lifelong damage they take, but there is the argument to be made, when you're putting on an entertainment product, you have to let it be entertainment a little bit. Yeah. Whereas high school football doesn't need to become just everyone spearing each other with their helmets trying to cause as much CTE on, the next 17-year-old.
Absolutely. But I mean,
maybe that's a league of their own.
Got in for that.
Yeah, that's a league of their own. I like that.
Whenever I see those ones where people are like getting into maybe like some overshooting, where they get the Boyum Cornell kind of thing, right? A little shootout. Some of the comments like, "Man, if that was me, I would have taken my mask off and beat his ass." And I'm like, "Bro, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, just leave it on the field, dog. Like, I don't understand that too. It's always the like the profile picture is a selfie. It's the divorced dad selfie. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, if you did that to me, we'd be meeting in the parking lot. It's like, dog, if you fought for 20 seconds, you'd be so gassed out. You literally would have a heart attack. Like, man, you haven't done cardio in 18 years. How do you think you're gonna fight, bro? Like, I don't understand that. I did see, and shout out to this ref. It was a random clip. I forget who took the video, so I do apologize to the videographer. But it was from the ICPL, actually. I think it was in the pro division of the ICPL. It was a 10-man division. And it was two older guys who decided to stand off a little bit. You know, it was a rundown gone wrong where one guy thought he got a guy and there was no paint or anything. And so they started to go at it. And I've met this ref before. I've literally seen this ref take a shot in the nuts and get back up and keep reffing his point. This dude's a badass. I don't know his name. But he like in hockey, lets them get it out a little bit. You know, they give him some extra for like 5 seconds or so. And then he comes in, puts his arms in between, eats like 10 himself, but just goes, hey, we're done. And they just kind of separate and go their other ways. I loved that, man. That is such a perfect way to handle it, because just like in hockey, it lets that moment of eruption happen. Because if you just sit on that shit and hold it in, it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Yep.
And so it's much better just to like, fuck you. No, fuck you. Fuck. All right. You know, like, you just let it go so it doesn't escalate throughout the day.
Yeah, and the player's probably cool.
I guarantee you, like, not at that point, but maybe later on in the day, they could have been like, hey, man, you know, like, I guarantee you no one was apologizing, but they were probably like, hey, you know, we settled that, like, it's dropped, you know, like, that's such a dude thing, you know,
You know,
like,
and let me say one more thing that I will say, since I play divisional myself. A lot of those grudges actually do not go away. A lot of them, compared to,
they don't.
One thing I've noticed a lot more in playing semi-pros, right? We play a lot of the same people, right? So we basically become acquainted with these people, right? We bullshit, right? We talk, but right in D4, where it's like, dude, sometimes you'll go 2 years without playing, you know, the same team again, right?
Yeah, because somehow
there's so many.
Somehow your prelim games are against 3 teams who play at the same field you're from, but you're at a national event. Good job, NXL.
Right? So, you know, it makes me think, because I would definitely hold on to those grudges, because I'm sure we'd shake hands, but I'd be like, I would probably never see that guy almost ever again, because obviously the NXL is a quote unquote big event, right? To where, I mean, I'm not really paying attention. I don't know that guy. I don't know what this guy even looks like beyond his mask and that 1 second beyond that handshake.
Yeah, so I guess what's the point you're making? Like,
I don't
he
even
would hold it?
know.
Or, yeah, no, because I was like, you
I don't
lost
even
me at. My point is, like, and especially in the pro side, that shit doesn't get held on to, because
I guess that's why the
these
argument
guys have more going on for them.
with-
Like, and I
yeah.
hate to say it, but like that. And Marv's made this point before, but he's like, you know, one of the ways that you don't get into your head when shit's going super far down and deep is like, I have stuff going on for me outside of this. You know, like, yeah, I want this, I want to win, but if I don't today, the world's not over, you know. Like, I will get on a flight, I'll go home, we'll go to practice, and we'll be at the next one, you know. And having that understanding that there's more to life than just, you know, and it's not just paintball, whatever your niche hobby is that you spend all your time in. But yeah, so there's definitely a lot there. Tom Cole, let them talk their shit again, all right? I would love that. And insert Optic Gaming or Optic Texas clip of Shotzi calling everyone dog shit and how the crowd erupted at that, because it was beautiful and amazing. All right, that's end of that topic for tonight. Last thing from paintball that I did want to go over. This is a big move. I'm very excited for this player. It's a guy I've known for about 7 years now, but finally getting a pretty big opportunity. And Hatch, I'm gonna let you bring this one in because you called it today, man. So shout out to you. We have the receipts and everything.
Right.
So what was the move?
So, big move. This just in. Joe Barrett leaving Infamous, going to San Diego Dynasty. And, man, boys, I think that is an absolute bananas move that I did see coming.
He hit us with the boys, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you know it's big.
I said, boys, I think this is happening today. And sure as shit,
I was talking about right now, but yes. So yeah, I mean, good for Joe. I know Joe's been in love with paintball. When we had him on the show, he was in a short bus clip from 06 or 04. So to see him finally kind of get a chance to play with one of the top organizations in the game. And that's no discredit to the teams he's been on before. He's played for Damage, he's played for DMG, he's played for Infamous. He's a great paintball player, and so definitely happy to see him find a new home with San Diego Dynasty. I would also like to say it looks like he left Infamous on good terms. He made a post about it. It seemed kind of a very friendly and like, hey, I hope they understand I got an opportunity and I'm going to take that opportunity to go play on a legendary team like
Absolutely.
Dynasty.
And I think it was mostly like, hey, this chapter is coming to an end of my life, and now it's time to start the new chapter, right? Everything on Infamous has been nothing but a blessing, and I love everybody on that team. But
we're reading between the lines a little bit. We haven't talked with Joe about this, and I do want to make that clear because he's been on the show, so there's no extra info. But
I'll say so. I texted the group chat today. I sent the post that Joe Barrett's thing, and I was like,
Hatch really wants his credit right now. He's bringing up the timestamps.
Well, no, because I was like,
we had them, but okay.
No, because I was like, doesn't this seem a little weird? Like, this seems like he's like saying he's leaving. This doesn't seem like just an appreciation post. It seems like he's leaving.
Yeah, right? No, I mean, you stumped me on that because it.
Because the way I was reading it at first, it sounded like he was like just grateful to be on Infamous.
It didn't read like a "I got cut" text. You know what I mean?
No.
Like it didn't read like.
But you didn't necessarily say like see you guys later. Like thanks for the time. It did. It did kind of. Yeah.
It's like a thankful post.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are we reading into this much? We're getting caught on kind of dumb things here, guys. Gotta be honest.
It is what it is, man. Shout out to Joe Barrett. One thing I do know about Joe Barrett, Joe Barefoot, is that guy is all about paintball and
being barefoot.
He has taught me a lot in my paintball career, right? His 2 years on DMG, he was one of the guys who was always at the field and really taught me a lot of lessons, right? Hey, if you're in this situation, do this. Hey, stop being a fucking bonehead. Stop playing so stupidly aggressive and start dialing it back, right? And I always looked up to Joe, and I think that this is a perfect fit for him for how much he loves paintball, right? I have more of a reason to like Dynasty for sure. Joe is one of those guys for sure.
Hatch is so player dependent. It's really funny to me. You're like the definition of you don't care about the name on the front. You care about the name on the back. Like
when it comes to other players for sure. When it comes to other players for sure. Absolutely right. And sheesh. I think it'll be fun. I think the addition with Kyle Berry and Joe Barrett. I think that both of those guys were the biggest paintball ambassadors on their team, or at least that they would like talk about teaching that way. I have a take that I'm going to write down on my notepad and we're going to talk about in the post show. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to hear that take, you got to wait for the post show.
I'm excited.
Subscribe to the Patreon, ladies and gentlemen.
Because that's one I believe in, and I will say, but you know what? We're going to save it because it's a little spicy.
I like spice.
Let's start to move forward a little bit more, guys. That was most of the paintball news and discussions that happened in the past week. It took us a while to get through that tonight. There was quite a few of them. But, yes, let's open it up a little bit more now. Do you guys have a topic that you want to jump to? I know, Hatch, you had another prank or something that was going. You guys just said Hatch's senior prank, so I have no clue what that means.
So this story is... we were talking about this on the post show, and Brandon was like, "Oh, you know what? I was saying how it was a good story," and Brandon was like, "Oh, you know what? Save it for the main podcast, right?" So this is when I was a senior.
I just want to say I have no clue what's about to happen, audience.
Yeah.
Neither do I.
This is a Hatch special.
So when I was a senior in high school, I had a photo class, first period. I'm setting the stage, ladies and gentlemen. So my first period photo class was with this teacher, Mr. Pena. And Mr. Pena didn't give a fuck. He would, we would leave campus, go grab food, and he'd be like, "Well, I'm not going to report you as long as you bring me something."
Did he have an accent?
No.
Damn it. Okay.
No, he was this was a whitewashed Mexican guy. I guess to the podcast standards, me. You know what I'm saying? Right? So, we're in photo class, right? And then all of a sudden, we're starting to hear some rumors, right? That there is a student that is smashing a teacher, and by smashing I mean like fucking, right?
It happened in my high school too.
Right. So basically, I'm hearing these rumors, and a couple days goes by. I obviously left my first period to go get food. So I went after school to go develop my photo, because anybody who's taking a photo class, right, you got to develop the film, right? You got to go in this dark room, develop film. So I go in after school.
It would not surprise me if high schools today, they're like, yeah, fuck that, it's just Photoshop. All right, come on.
For sure. Absolutely. 100%. I bet there's
don't need to learn the basics of light exposure, kids.
No. At least Mr. Pena did not teach me that shit. And so I walk in and I'm going to develop my photo. I walk into the room that is basically pitch black, but if you haven't been
swear to God, okay.
No. So this is where it was weird, right? So anybody who's ever been in there knows that it's like pitch black, except there's a red light, right? Because red light exposure is a little bit different, right?
Yeah, photo development rooms, because film, if you get it exposed to light, it ruins the film instantly.
Yep.
But red UV spectrum light won't develop the film, so that's the only light source you can have to, not ruin the film, but also still have light to see what the fuck you're doing.
Right. So I go in to develop my photo, and who do I walk in on? I walk in on Mr. Pena and this student that the rumor was about. But they were like leaning over, but like almost like a way, without a doubt, you would do to like your girlfriend, right? Where you're like leaning over her, like kind of like this, where it's like, all right, look at check me out, boys. Paint the picture. You're like this, right? I'm like this.
So it's like she's on the counter, but like you're like arm around,
and then he's right behind her like this.
Yep.
Boom.
I'm getting the
just
image.
like that.
Okay.
And then
what motion was he making?
Nothing, right?
Okay.
So you know what motion he was making? So all right, I don't know if you guys will be able to hear me for this one. So I walk in and I go, oh shit, and he goes, oh hey, like looking like this, like walking around, and I'm like, oh fuck, right? And so I walk out of the classroom. I walk out of that shit. I don't even develop my photo.
What? You didn't take a picture of this?
No, I did not take a picture
You didn't blackmail him? Get an A?
Bro, I walk out of my class, and there's like a little area outside where the photo class was where people were waiting on me to like develop my photo, and like we go out and we hang out, right? And I walk out, and I go, you guys are never gonna fucking believe what I just fucking saw, right? And
they did it because you didn't take a photo.
No, dude. So basically, this wasn't even the teacher that was rumored that she was fucking. It ended up so there was another teacher that she got caught with. So there was a crazy love triangle with the same student and two teachers.
Two male teachers? That's
two
crazy.
male teachers, right? And
because okay, so that reminds me of two different like type of things. One of my favorite stories I've been hearing a lot recently from celebrities is they'll go and do something, and I've heard this a lot with Bill Murray. He would go out to some random event and go out in public or something, and someone would see them and they'd be like, oh my God, Bill Murray, you're here. Like, no way. That's crazy. Can we get a photo? And he would take a photo sometimes, but if he didn't have time, his go-to always would be like, oh, I don't have time. I'm sorry. It's okay. No one's ever going to believe you. And then he would walk away, and he would, say in his Bill Murray way. I probably butchered it, but hearing that, I love, because I would love one day to be able just to like have that moment of like, yeah, no one's ever gonna believe you, and then just walk away and like know for the rest of their life they'll tell the story of like, I was at the farmer's market and Bill Murray was there. It was so crazy. So that's the first one that comes to my mind. The second kind of story that comes to my mind is in high school. We had a very similar situation, except it expanded a little bit because I was a freshman, my brother was a senior, and in my high school we did like an every 15 minutes type thing. So that was, I think we talked about it recently on the podcast, or I don't know, 6 months or so ago, but it's essentially like a drunk driving training situation thing to kind of expose kids to it and help prevent drunk driving incidents. But so my brother was in it his senior year, and during his senior year it was found out and convicted that a physics teacher at our high school, shout out Mr. Yamamoto, he was having a illegal relationship with one of his students, and so he went off to county jail and was sitting in there, and that happened at the beginning of the year. Well, during the every 15 minutes program, they take a trip of the local county jail to kind of give the kids who are in the program an idea of, hey, if you come to jail, it's not great, because you got a DUI.
Scared straight.
guess who they saw in jail? My brother and the Scared Straight group, you know, essentially, they saw Mr. Yamamoto hanging out in his county oranges.
That's rough, bro.
So, yeah, that was, I remember hearing that story from him. He's like,
That
no way Yam was in there, man.
That genuinely, without a doubt, would scare me straight. I'd be like, psh, fuck that shit. That's someone I know in there. That's not just a fucking, that's not just a random prisoner, you know, a random prisoner NPC.
It reminds me of that scared me straight, the little boy who's like, he's like, fucking you, the prisoner's like, you're lucky I can't get out of the cell. And he's like, well, it's not opened enough.
Yeah.
the guard like opens it more like, what are you saying, little boy?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a viral meme. I don't know if you guys have seen that
I
one.
definitely have seen it.
You spend enough time in the Instagram reels, it may come
He's
up.
like, so the full video, I remember, he's like, the guard is like holding the little fat kid by his like collar. And he's like, you want in there? And he's like, no. He's like, you want in there? The kid's like, no. He's like, why don't you want in there? He goes, because it's not open. You know?
Yeah, it was something like
right?
that.
Exactly like that. So funny, right? But so anyway, rounding back to the whole fucking Mr. Pena story. Right? I'm trying to set up the grand thing for the prank. Right?
Oh shit. Okay, wait. So
Right.
you caught him and didn't tell anyone?
So I am telling my
Hatch
I'm
is
telling
not
my
a
friend-
narc, ladies and
no,
gentlemen. Let's
so I'm
go.
telling my friends, right?
Luigi
And-
Manginoni needed you, bro.
And so
Yeah.
I didn't. So I waited an entire week to tell anybody, right? So I go in and I go.
Was he eating you up inside? You're
here we
just
go.
at
So-
night looking at the ceiling like...
I go. You know what? I'm gonna take this shit to the next level. So I go to the yearbook class and I go. I want to submit my senior quote, right? And so I'll type it in chat, like realistically what it looked like. I was like, let me type my senior quote, right? And my senior quote was,
Oh, you know,
Why
Yeah.
does he have to type it? He can't say it?
how bad is it?
all right. So my senior quote was basically, don't tell anyone, and then like the little bar and it says Mr. Pena, right? Quoting Mr. Pena. It's like, that said, don't tell anyone,
That's good. Okay.
right? And then so
I'm proud of you.
So then,
That's
so
good.
then a week later, they question me. They're like, "Hey, we heard that you saw this," and I'm like, "Yep, saw it. Yep, 100%." And
God damn it, Hatch.
right, and dude, sure as shit, they're like, "All right, get him." So they fucking go and get the teacher, right, and then they get the other teacher, the other one that was in the love triangle, right. And the thing is, this student had this whole.
It seems like they were already kind of curious. Like, not curious. There were
Suspected
red
it.
flags for administration because like they were already like
For
because you
sure.
only saw Miss Pena or Mr. Pena and her, not the other teacher, but they already knew
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
other teacher.
Right.
Okay.
And what's so crazy is the student had like this whole thing how they were like a lesbian and they had a girlfriend for like all 4 years of high school.
Dude.
Right. So it's like,
Women. Am I
it's
right?
like,
Am I
right.
right
So it's
right
like
now?
this
Am I
this
right?
one
There.
girl that was with her for 4 years just gets cheated on this the last like 6 weeks of high school
By like 30-year-old men.
Right. So the yearbook comes out. Right. My quote's in there. It says, "Don't tell anyone, Mr. Pena."
I'm gonna need to
Right.
see a photo
I'll say-
of that.
So no, so this is how it was so bad. So they recalled every single yearbook.
No fucking way.
They recalled every single yearbook. So the only ones that I know about, I don't even have one myself, but I only know about 3 in existence that do exist. 3 yearbooks that do have
They
my
like
quote in
got
it.
him out of the school before
Yep.
the
Yep.
recall
Wait,
came.
so you
Did
know
they
what?
wait? Did
I'll
they
find-
pass them out first?
Yes.
And-
so they had to get all the yearbooks back
I
and
wouldn't have
a
given-
whole nother set of yearbooks in a week.
Why did you?
Here's my thing. Your editor-in-chief at your yearbook class was trying to make some shit happen here. That's what it seems like to me. There was a senior who was like, we're going to burn the bridges, boys. Yeah, fuck it. Send it. You know, because, like, I don't know how that makes it through all these stages of editing and all that, and then they hand
would
it
they?
out.
What if?
How did they even print all new yearbooks? That's crazy. What?
Right, so I just sent it in our little Instagram group chat because I posted it on my Instagram May 26th, 2015. Right, so I just
Oh
sent.
my
so I
god,
just,
yep.
Look
Oh
at
my
that.
fucking god. Stephen Hatch, quote, don't tell anybody, quote, dash Mr. Pena. Holy
right.
shit,
So
Hatch.
and
What the
after
fuck's going on in Clovis?
after they find out, dude, there is a manhunt on me by the school administration. Dude,
Why?
for an entire day. I was so first period, I'm late, right? And it's photo class right? So, but new teacher, Mr. Webb, cool ass old guy.
Yeah,
He's
you're a
dead now.
long-term sub at that point, because that
Yeah.
also happened to me at one point in my school.
You know, shout out to Mr. Webb. He's dead now. Rest in peace. But yeah, so I get a text that's like, hey, be careful coming in. They're looking for you. And I go, oh fuck. So I'm like, I instantly turn left immediately and go into a bathroom. And for every class period of that day, I'm in that fucking bathroom hiding. Right? And so the next day is graduation where you go to walk. Right? So I go to walk. I get my
Damn,
diploma.
this was late in the year they found this out.
Yes, dude, very late in the year. They only passed the yearbooks out at the end, right? And seniors, when you're graduating, this is you're gone 2 weeks earlier than everybody else is. At least where my school was.
Yeah, no, I kind of, so in my head, I thought the timeline was like, it was like mid-year you found out, because like you went to your yearbook office or whatever class and gave them the stuff, but no, I see now. It was later in the year, okay.
Yeah, so I put my quote in like the very last day possible. Like the very, very last day possible.
That does make more sense, to be honest.
So, oh, fuck, where was I at?
Graduation.
Right, so graduation, right? So the person who hands me my diploma is the yearbook teacher that I talked to put my quote in there, right? And he has my diploma, because because anybody unless you're really that fucked up that graduated high school knows when you grab your diploma, ain't nothing in it. That shit's empty, right? You get your diploma after.
Yeah, you get a cover, and then you got to go to the attendance office and go grab that shit. I did that shit that night. Sorry to sidestep. They said you could come back. I was like, fuck it, I'm never coming back to this place.
Yep, I got
stood
mine
in line for an hour. I was like, give me that shit. I'm never coming back here.
Yep. So he goes to hand it out to me. He opens it up, and he goes, Mr. Hatch, so tell me how that quote made it on in there. And I'm like, I don't know. And I grabbed that shit and walked away, like, quick. And that was it. But apparently there were hundreds of yearbooks that got recalled. Hundreds that ended up getting destroyed.
I'm just impressed that they were able to reprint them, because I know that's a huge thing, is like it's got to be sent in at a certain time so all the books can be printed and sent over and all that shit. So, yeah. Wow.
Do you know how much trouble you got those students in?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, no. I guess you didn't do anything. Wait, hold on. Why did you turn in your yearbook?
Mine didn't have it. I didn't get mine yet. So people were like, "Dude, check out the yearbook." Right?
I would have paid money to get a yearbook that wasn't.
Dude, I was looking for it, bro. I was looking for it. And if anybody that I'm going to high school with that's in there, bro,
copy.
Let me know, bro. Send me a picture, dude. I gotta see it.
What was the high school and what year?
I'll pay medium dollar for it. Not top dollar. Not low dollar.
Medium dollar, fair.
Medium dollar.
Damn, that's crazy, buddy.
So yeah, they were telling me that they were telling me that they originally were not going to let me walk at my graduation because of it.
I feel like we're putting the blame on the wrong party here. You know, I feel like we're getting upset at the kid who witnessed the pedophile being a pedophile and not the pedophile.
Yeah,
do you get what I mean there? Like, it seems like the wrong place to lay the blame.
I'm just putting my trauma to pen and paper on a yearbook.
No, you were a journalist who was reporting on the things around you.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, don't tell anyone. That is a metaphor in itself. You know?
What? Okay.
I don't know how I can possibly spin it into a good metaphor.
And it didn't hit.
So after you caught him, after you saw him, I'm assuming you still had some classes with him. How were those interactions?
Horrible. We act like we never knew each other, like we never saw each other, and every single grade I was an A on every single project that I did. Dude, bullshit, right? So he goes,
he knew.
We walk up and he's like, "All right, guys, I hope everybody brought their item for their photo project, because you're supposed to get an item and do like some kind of like exposure to it to capture it." Mm-hmm. And I go, "Well, fuck, let me just throw my keys on it." And so I throw my keys on it so you can just expose the light to where it's just the outline of keys, and it looks so. It
was a little like soda can type.
Yes.
Camera. I know. Yeah, we use those at my school too. Yeah.
And so mine was a thing of keys. Some other people, one chick brought her grandma's ashes, bro, to do it, and I'm like, that's fucking crazy. And I'm doing my keys, and I got a higher grade than she did.
That is ridiculous.
Well, she didn't see his penis, so
I didn't see his penis either. Thank God.
Very good point. I had a similar situation, and I'll tell this story. If you guys want to hear more high school stories from us, we actually told a couple on the after show last week, and that's why Hatch saved this one for air, because he thought it was too good. He was happy with it. But yeah, so my senior, or was it sophomore year? Yeah, sophomore year. And it does kind of suck, because now that the whole situation's come out, he wasn't like guilty of the things he was alleged of. But
so his life was ruined first?
Yeah, no, 100%. And but our theater teacher was alleged to be having a relationship with a female student. After it went to court and all the evidence came out, he wasn't. But
because
his life was ruined
he teaches
because of
theater. It was a relationship with a guy.
For sure.
Yeah, it wasn't a female, it was a guy. But no, so it was hilarious because one day we came to his class to do for the play we were doing. It was the after school practice for it, and we were there. He comes in and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm not gonna be able to make it to practice. I got a personal thing I gotta take care of. Like, see you guys on Monday." Never saw this motherfucker again in my life. And then we heard everything that came out. We had a long-term sub that came in. Shout out Miss Hilliker. She was a dub teacher. But yeah, so it was definitely like, wow, all right. I never saw that dude again. And I felt bad because I kind of kept up with it because, he was a cool guy. He was one of those, like, he fit in with the students and, like, everyone kind of liked him.
He was your friend, not really a teacher?
Yeah, kind of, but it was fucked because like the whole thing went to trial and his lawyer proved pretty easily that it was like all fabricated stuff, and it's just but of course he could never work there again. His life's ruined. He has to go move and do other shit.
I thought it's pretty crazy because sometimes I'll see some of these teachers that are actually younger than me now, and I'm like, holy shit, I thought teachers could only be older than me. I thought teachers could only be older than me. And now
you're
it's
thinking like, oh,
you felt like they were really old when you were going through school.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%. Now I realize that
thinking they know everything.
Now I realize that they're just people just like me, bro. They're people just like you, just like me. Normal, younger than you. Laugh and have fun.
They don't liberal women. That's what they all are.
They laugh in their head when they read A to Z mysteries and there's like, some kind of joke about like a butt in there or a fart joke. They're laughing because they know what it's like to be an adult, because farts are always funny when you're an adult.
I think that's a you thing, Hatch. But yeah,
why'd you laugh then?
That more so that was the context. That was the high school senior prank. I understand why it's a senior prank now. I thought it was going to be against
I had to set it up. I had to set it up for like this whole time, because if I would have just told you, I made my quote this. That would have made no sense.
Actually, I gotta give you some credit. That was one of the better jobs you did storytelling on the podcast. You were getting better every week, and I want to give you your props there. Let's move on a little bit. I guess we'll talk about we've talked about it the last couple of weeks, the kind of trading card type stuff. Did another drop off for PSA, so dropped off some more cards at GameStop, and they're going to get shipped off to a grading company to see what quality they are. Not a Vaporeon, it was a Espeon.
Espeon.
The top card I sent in this batch was a Espeon Master Ball.
Is Emporeon
so essentially Emporeon?
Is that a thing?
Leafeon, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon,
what's the second
Espeon, Umbreon, and Sylveon. Those are the evolutions. 8, I think. But yes, those are all evolutions of Eevee. And the most recent set from Japan, as we mentioned in the last podcast, is all focusing on those cards. This was the one I pulled. I'll show you it a little bit on my phone. See how that Master Ball, or that Pokeball right there, is an M on it? So that denotes that is a Master Ball version of the card. These are ultra rare versions of the card. Essentially you're only kind of like, the rates for them is about every 1 in 3 booster boxes you'll get one Master Ball, and you're not guaranteed what they are at all. So pulling an Espeon is very good because it can be any one of, I think, the 120 common cards that are in the set.
And it has to be on holo?
No, it could be, that's what I mean. It could be on any of the cards. So it could literally be the basic card, but it has a version of it that is a Master Ball version. So that's where the rarity comes from, because not only are they hard to pull, but you could pull any card in that slot as that Master Ball. Does that make sense?
And you're talking the Master Ball that's in the center of it, kind of like behind the wording and everything, right?
Yeah, so I know audio
so what would
pictures.
that look like on a normal card?
So that is a normal card. That's what I'm trying to say. This is how all cards in the set look that are Master Balls. They are the regular card, so not any special alt arts or anything. It's not a full art picture of something.
Gotcha.
But the special thing is that it's a cracked ice hollow is what that pattern is called in cards, which looks very beautiful in person. And then, yes, the Pokeball on it has a Master Ball, and it looks a little bit different. And again, that's not really why they're special. They're special because they're rare. That's the point I'm trying to bring, is that you're not even guaranteed one in every box. It's one in 3 boxes. You might get one, and it could be one of 120 different things. You know, you don't know if it's going to be the one that everyone wants. So yeah, very happy about that. Getting it sent in to be graded. Hopefully it comes back a 10. In a 10, that card's sitting right around $300 is what I've seen on the market right now. There was a couple down around $250, but you know, anywhere in that range, that's great. You know, if you pull a card out of a pack, pay $16 for it to get graded, and that's worth $300, yeah, you're making money there every single time. Yep, 100%. So we love that. There was a couple others I sent in as well. They're a little less valuable. It was a Gengar card that I liked, and then the Gengar card will be for sale, hopefully, depending on if it gets a good grade. And then the other one was just a Arcanine card. If people have been listening, they know I like Growlithe and his evolution Arcanine. So yeah, been holding on to those and adding another one to the collection. But yeah, so that's the PSA side of stuff this week. The other thing, and it is kind of interesting, is just last week, Upper Deck, which is a trading card company, finally released the trading cards for the Call of Duty League for the years of 2022 and 2023. Why they're delayed 3 or almost 2 years at this point? Yeah, because the full season of 2024 already happened. I don't know, but they're coming out. The cool thing with that is, being that they are the older rosters, Scump is still in there. So I saw that and I said, screw it, let's buy a couple boxes. So I got a couple boxes of those coming on in. I'm gonna rip those for the What's in the Pack series that we do on the Mafia TCG channel, so you'll be able to see what I get over there. But yeah, I just thought it'd be cool to, you know, get a Scump, a Dashie, you know, maybe a Shotzi or something like that. I think that would always be, you know, it'd be a cool autograph card to get. I have no guarantees, you know, you gotta pull them. So if
I'm
the
a big
luck's
fan of
there,
Scump. So if you pull it, that means we pull it.
Hey, did we pull that Pikachu, or did Tegan pull that Pikachu?
We pulled the Pikachu.
No, we didn't. No, also, how is it not on your desk yet, man? Come on,
valid, dude. You know, valid.
We gotta get that in. Also, just go take it into GameStop and get it graded, dude. It would be so amazing.
Did you do that? No, the local GameStop near me closed. Fuck! No, you guys remember that nostalgic post? Fuck! That one is so rough, bro.
But that would have been crazy, because, dude, that card in a 10 right now, that Pikachu you have, is about... there's a couple listings at $3K.
Dude, I could have saved that GameStop, bro. I could have saved that GameStop.
Well, no, I mean, that wouldn't have done anything. But I think it's like... That's the other thing with grading too. As your cards get more and more valuable, the grading company charges more, because they also insure the cards. So if USPS loses it or something, they insure it. So they ask that you pay a little more, but if it gets lost and your $10,000 card is destroyed, they will pay you out the value of that card. It's kind of a good thing. So, with a $2,000 card, I think it's like a $60 fee to get graded. You guys paid like $6 for that pack. Do the math there, my man. That's over $2,400 of value.
She got the promo code from signing up.
True.
So you know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys go over there and sign up.
She
get
paid
free $15
and tax. That's insane. That's insane.
Make sure you guys go sign up. Get yourself a free $15 to get yourself a dope ass Pikachu.
But yeah, so if you guys are fans of Call of Duty, we'll have some cool TCG content for the Call of Duty side up here soon.
Can't wait until we pull that Scump card.
Dude, I want to. That'd be so awesome. But yeah, man. So that was the trading card side. I guess another quick update on that too. We did do a lot of shows for Terrestrial Festival last week. That was the set that I pulled the Espeon from. Brandon came through, got a couple of those. Happy to see that. That was a fun time. Yeah. We already have some fans of him in the Whatnot chat. People are shouting his name whenever he comes on in. It's pretty funny, actually.
Giving away, buying packs for people.
He's becoming a god.
Hell yeah.
Generous with that surgeon money, man. Generous. And obviously Telly likes to play paintball a lot.
Yes, but yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. If you guys ever are interested, go head over to the @Mafia_TCG on Instagram. It's got links over to the Whatnot and all the good stuff over there.
Even if you guys aren't even into Pokemon, because honestly, I don't know what the hell I'm buying most of the time. It's I go off of Ryan's reactions and how cool the cards look. I don't know what they are, but it's fun. And Ryan essentially does like a 2-hour solo podcast.
It's pretty much me
he's
monologuing.
Yeah.
That's why I love our Saturday shows when I have Anthony and Tanner there, because it's like, oh, finally someone else to talk to.
Someone to hit it
Goddamn.
back, yeah.
But yeah, no, if you guys want to hear me just talk for 2 hours, you could always go do that as well if you just want to hear more of me talking. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I actually put up a post today. USPS is back ordered with our most recent order for some reason. It should have came in last Saturday, and it's still not here on Tuesday following, so that sucks. But whenever that comes in, we will be doing some more shows over there. So yeah, make sure you go follow that account. And if you use the link, you'll get $15 for free. So if you want to just see what's up and, like Tegan, get lucky and freaking, get the best card in the set for free, essentially.
Make me look good as hell. You know what I'm saying? Make me look
That
good
is
as
true.
hell.
That's true, because you didn't do it. Your girlfriend did.
Yep.
All right, boys. Well, let's keep moving forward. I wanted to talk about a little piece of entertainment that I kind of tuned into last week. Something that it passed me in time. It came out, I think, a couple years ago. But now that I spent the time to watch it and actually go back into it, I was very glad that I did. Very interesting story, and one that I think a lot of people would enjoy. It's from the makers of South Park. So from Matt Parker, or
All right.
Trey Stone, Matt Stone, Trey Parker. There we go. Fucking, they're the same person in my head, essentially. All the way from basketball, those guys have been working together. They make a lot of great things. But one of the things that they wanted to do was there was this restaurant that they both went to as children going to when they were growing up in Colorado. It was kind of a tourist spot. You could essentially think of like a Dave and Buster's or a Chuck E. Cheese, but on complete steroids. Almost a 50,000 square foot space where this was. It was a restaurant and entertainment facility. There was arcades, there was walk around mazes, there was performers going through it, and this place was called Casa Bonita, and it was located just in a small suburb in Colorado. It was kind of random, but it became kind of this Casa Bonita, like House of Bonita.
Oh, Casa Bonita. Gotcha.
And it became kind of this cult classic for this area. A lot of people went there as a kid, growing up, and they remember having a great time. And two of the people who went there were Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Now that, they became very successful, South Park took off, they had all their other entertainment businesses that did well for them. They were kind of looking into, some way to, have an investment or, like maybe they could purchase into. And what they decided was, well, hey, you remember that thing that we went to as kids and we loved, Casa Bonita? What if we buy it? Let's look into that. And it turns out that it was went through bankruptcy court, and a bank owned it at that point. But Matt Stone and Trey Parker decided to buy this restaurant from bankruptcy, essentially. And their plan was to renovate it and bring it back and make it a thing for the next generation of kind of Colorado children to go to, and continue this thing that they have very fond memories of. Well, they got there and they realized the whole building should have been condemned. Essentially, every single square foot of this place needed to be replaced, torn out, all the infrastructure, the HVAC units, the electrical, the plumbing, the whole building essentially needed to be redone. I won't tell you the full number because they go over the budget in the documentary, but they end up spending significant amounts of money. It was like ballpark of like 20 to 40 million off the top of my head. And yeah, so they spend money, they renovate it. Again, I'll let you guys, if you're interested, you can go watch and kind of see the full conclusion of the story. But that's a lot of kind of the setup for it is, the trials and tribulations that Matt Stone and Trey Parker have as they're trying to get this business back up and running. The documentary, it is called Casa Bonita Mi Amor. So essentially, House of Bonita, my love, in Spanish. I'm bilingual over here. All the Latinos are going to love me. But so it was a very great documentary. I enjoyed watching it. I looked it up online. That's where I found it. I think it's on Paramount Plus if you want to see it on its actual version. But it's also on other sites, places you can go on the internet. I'm gonna not tell you the names, but you can figure that out. But yeah, so very cool story. It was really cool to see Matt and Trey kind of something they loved as kids and spending a lot of money into reinvesting it and bringing it back for a new generation. Yeah, no, definitely something I would recommend people to go check out. Brent, have you heard about Casa Bonita, Brandon? Because I know it's in multiple South Park episodes. Like, it's definitely a running joke and theme that they bring up quite a lot.
Once you said South Park, like it clicked. I was like, yep, I remember this. I haven't watched the documentary, but again, hearing about it,
it's a good one. I would recommend. Yeah,
it's cool. And when Ryan says like they have entertainment, dude, they got people diving. Like there's a little pool in the middle of the restaurant, and there's people cliff diving off.
Yes,
like,
while you're sitting at your table eating shitty Mexican food. Well, that was back in the day. It's good Mexican food now, but yeah, it was. It's a very, very, very interesting like place. Like, there's not really many things like this outside of like a major theme park, like a Universal or a Disney World or something like that.
Does it kind of give off the same kind of like vibes as like medieval times in a way? Or
no,
not like medieval. What I mean by that is like, obviously people are in character and everything like that. There's a whole setting to it. Is it supposed to be like the circus?
No, because it's not necessarily like
circus.
No, you guys, the way you guys are describing.
Where are you coming from, my Latins and Latinos?
I'm Mexican. I can say it, I guess.
That's true. No, you're like half right, and that's why it's kind of hard to take back what you said, because like yes, there's a theme, there's things going on, but it's not like a show. Like it's not like you're sitting down. No, you're participating in it. There's not arcade games, but there's mazes for you to go to. There's things you can interact with that makes noises and lights go off, and like think of like a big amusement park type vibe, but brought to a convenience convenience store layout mall in the middle of Colorado. It looks so out of place.
Sounds sick. We should go there. We should make a trip.
I actually would be down to go to Casa Bonita if we're ever in like close by it in Colorado. I think that would be pretty cool.
Sick.
Is it in Denver?
I know it's close to Denver. I don't know if it's like within the urban city or if it's in a suburb.
I mean,
but I know it's
honestly,
in that area.
There's only two cities I know of in Denver or in Colorado. It's Denver and Aurora.
Denver and Colorado Springs.
Okay. 3 now. Yeah. Colorado Springs.
I know
that's
Colorado Springs because that's where the Air Force Academy is. Yep. I know Aurora because rest in peace. And I know Denver.
We all do. Yeah.
You want to know how I got these scars, Brandon?
Yeah.
It was in a movie theater in Aurora, Colorado. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Casa Bonita, Mia Moore. I definitely recommend, if you have any interest in the South Park guys and the stuff that they create, definitely, go check it out. It's a good time. All right. Well, Hatch, Brando, I need a topic from you guys now. We've gotten through a couple on my list, but I want to ping it off, see what you guys brought to the show tonight.
Right. So one thing I want to bring up real quick that Brando could definitely stack on top is, so this past week were the Video Game Awards. The Game Awards of 2024.
The past patch. Yep.
So I thought that overall, so this is the first time I've ever, I guess I'm, at the point where I sat there and watched it. I was sitting there with my girlfriend, and Marv ended up coming into the Discord.
Shout out Marv. Yep. I love when Marv shows up randomly. It's my favorite thing, man.
And so we were all watching the Game Awards, and it was just a good time.
I did end up watching them. I didn't watch them live because I was doing a Whatnot stream as that was happening. I think Brandon was in that one actually. But yeah, so I went through afterwards and watched all the stuff. But yeah, a lot of announcements that came through at the Video Game Awards.
Sick ones, dude. So
also one of the craziest games of the year, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Without a doubt. So Brando, why don't you add a little something on top of my little appetizer?
I mean, yeah, I didn't watch it all. I just saw little things. The games that caught my eye, of course, Borderlands 4.
That looks sick, bro.
So excited for that, buddy.
Absolutely. Me too. I either gotta get a PC
have to get an Xbox
or
something.
an updated Xbox to play this, dude. I gotta.
Crazy.
I mean,
he's not gonna get a PC. We've tried to convince him for 2.5 years, Hatch. It's not happening.
Let me tell you, at this point, get a fucking PC. It's the same fucking storage space as an Xbox, like in your house. You know what I'm saying? It's basically the same fucking size.
You could put it on that desk very easily. And what's nice is when you're doing the show, Michelle could have the laptop to study on, so that way she doesn't have to bother you, and we can get more time with our bro Brandon.
Or you could let her use it so we can all play Minecraft together, bro.
I can't give her my laptop with all my tax documents.
She uses it already.
Yeah.
But you might want to wipe some shit, okay? But yeah.
Yeah, she can't. No, my tax documents are on
here.
here.
About the guys. Okay, the first time I ever built a gaming PC, I put like a couple big hard drives in there. I didn't even have anything on there that would have been bad, but I guarantee you, when I threw away that PC, I took those hard drives out, took a hammer, smashed the fuck out of them, bro. Whatever was in there, I don't know. No one else is gonna know. Like, I'm like, that's going to his grave.
In my mind, I'm like, I do not want some fucking hobo finding my fucking SSD at the dump and then plugging it into, somehow he gets fucking home, plugs it into his computer. Now he's able to play on my Steam account and hack my shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's how the anxiety. That's how the anxiety of my mind works, boys.
What is this weirdo into? You know, you surf 4chan enough, you're gonna. Never mind. Hey, shut up.
It's fucking jokes, but
yeah, there's some truth in there.
Man. Oh god.
Right. Fuck. But yeah, the Game Awards.
There's some jump scares on the internet that you're not ready for. I can guarantee that.
Definitely not.
Mr. Pena, god damn it, dude! Come on.
What? Is that Yom?
You know,
Mr. Yom?
No, I said.
No, I'm with you, Brandon. I got your joke. Catch it. It's okay. But yeah, so going back to the Game Awards a little bit, we talked about Borderlands 4. That trailer looked great. Obviously, it's still very early, so not much gameplay is seen, but. You know, at some point in the future, we'll get more information about that.
Another game that looks sick that's coming out.
I already know which one he's gonna say.
No, you don't.
Well,
I'm gonna say it eventually. But Mafia, the old country. That game looks sick. This game looks fantastic. And
I was a big fan of the original, like Mafia 1 and 2. I think 3 got a little out there.
I played Mafia 3. I even played it recently. I went back and played it, and. Just seems like you're just a black guy from Vietnam, or a black guy that went to Vietnam, came back, and now you just got to kill a shit ton of people. That just kind of seems like what it is. Right?
I think you're being a little racist there, Hatch, because
what I mean by that
had nothing to do with the skin color of the character that I played. I just want to put that
because
out
the thing
there.
Is, you're way more involved as the family.
Had problems with the character of the skin of the character.
How did the character sound?
Mafia 1 and 2. Mafia 1 and 2 were way more involved with the family.
To me, Mafia 1 and 2 are good because they're more focusing on the story of the Mafia and everything than just being kind of what you said, a killing simulator, which I felt like Mafia 3 was at times, where it was like, what am I even doing?
That's exactly what I just said.
People to do it, and Mafia 1 and 2 definitely had more of like, oh shit, you know, like this is happening. The Mafia 2 point where you have all your shit and then you get robbed and have to start back over at the beginning. That was before any other game had done that to me. I was so fucking pissed as like a 13-year-old kid, dude.
The first time I had that happen, I'm like, all right, where's my shit?
I gotta get the slow car again?
Yeah, I'm like, where's it all at? You know, I'm like trying to, get back to, all the stuff that I had. Because obviously you're trying to stack yourself as much as you possibly can. And now you have nothing.
I also feel like it gets back to kind of that old school style of gameplay, at least from what I was seeing from the trailer. Again, trailers are trailers, we never know what it's going to actually be. But
the trailer looked way more like, the trailer looked way more like OG family style, where almost like a cult, where
Fast and Furious, yeah.
No, almost like a cult in a way, where they were like, all right. It looked like they were about to do in the trailer. It looked like they were going to do a blood oath. That's what I would say it would look like.
Well, they did, because that's the old school oath. I mean, that's literally the way that you would enter the Mafia. They would burn the card in your hand, and then you would cut yourself and make an oath on the cross for the family.
Right. So
if you ever betrayed them, they would call it.
So that shit, I think seeing that stuff is so sick, and I think the way that they're going to portray that.
You're Italian, Hatch. We make jokes that you're Mexican, but that's really what your fucking heritage is, dog.
Yeah, it's all it showed was Italian guys. Like, I don't know where you got a black guy from.
Mafia 3. Mafia 3, brother. Talking about a completely different game.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
Brando, that comment right there made my comment go way under the rug, bro.
in the 40s, people weren't too friendly with Sicilians, and so that's all I'm gonna say. They were considered the next closest thing.
I'll say this: the very first time I ever experienced racism myself, I had a girlfriend. I told you guys this story before, right? I had a girlfriend that her grandma.
Know if I've heard this.
Okay. Her grandma apparently hates Italians. So I walk up for the very first time.
Dingo?
No, I walk up to the very first time at Thanksgiving dinner, and she sees me. She introduces me, and then she walks away, and to my girlfriend at the time's mom, she goes, "There ain't no way you're gonna let a fucking whop in our goddamn fucking house again." And I'm like,
I knew it was coming.
and I'm like maybe 10 feet away, like listening to this, and I'm just like, is that like? 'Cause I don't get offended by words like that. Like I've never even heard that word be
That's
used
just
besides
funny to me.
ironically, right?
Look, and like, I do get that because like I understand how other words can be offensive to people, but bro, if you call me a cracker, I don't give a single fuck. Like I don't know. There's
I'm gonna give you a
I
little
don't-
chuckle.
and people are gonna be like, "There's no slurs for white people." Okay, I guess there's not, but like, I just don't give a shit. Call me what you're gonna call me. It's a word.
No,
at the
you
end of the day.
know what a slur for a white person is, bro. A fucking Karen, bro. You call someone a Karen, bro. They're distraught when you call someone a Karen.
I guess I don't really do Karen activities, so I guess that I don't know.
I guess it's valid, right? But
You
if
gotta
someone's
be
like,
one to
if
get
someone's
called
like,
one.
if someone's like reacting in public, all you kind of have to do is like just call them a Karen, and then it's kind of like paints a picture right there.
Yeah, they definitely it escalates really quickly
Without a
because then they
doubt.
get pissed off. You call you a Karen.
Exactly.
Yeah, it all goes crazy.
The reaction off of being called a Karen leads to more Karen-ly activities.
It's worse. I was gonna say I guess like two names I know of are Gringo. Obviously, that's white people get called that a lot by Latin countries. Also Wedo. That's another one because something
What?
to do with
Weto?
white people.
Wedo?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard
So
that one.
those are literally the only two ones I can think of off the top of my head that are like white guy slurs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So I guess we're doing okay.
We're cool, you know. Whatever.
I'm good. I'm good, bro. Let me tell you, bro. I love hearing a good white person joke.
Finish your word, Brandon.
Yeah, finish it,
Sounds
buddy.
very bad.
No,
My bad. I
I'm-
think I interrupted there.
No, I'm just trying to like, name a better racial slur. Not just for white people, I'm just saying in general. you know?
Honky's a good one, I guess.
Oh, it doesn't have to just be white.
That
person,
one's like
you know?
for
I'm just
specifically
thinking
like
white
rednecks.
ones because I am white and I can say those
I
legally
feel like
on
that
the
one's
podcast
for more
online.
like. I feel like that one's more for like rednecks.
Honky?
I do love when people think redneck is a slur. It's
Not at all.
Rednecks are great people.
Yeah.
They fucking.
They wear that with pride.
Yep.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, that Southern hospitality came from rednecks, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it came from the South, but yeah.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, that's why it's called Southern hospitality. So I don't know what you want from me, Hatch. You kind of set yourself up
So-
for that one.
no,
there.
you did good. But
Hey, so
But
there
yeah,
was-
so that's Mafia. We just talked about fucking
Mafia.
races for 7.5 minutes.
Yep.
Love that, guys. Great job.
Hell yeah. Great job.
Going back to the game awards.
right? So, The Witcher 4, that game looks
Saw that.
sick. The cinematic trailer for that game, 2025 is
I'm
going to be a
not
great
gonna
year.
lie. That's the first Witcher I'm interested in, and it's 100% because of the character design.
Dude, bro, play The Witcher 3. That game is a masterpiece.
No, I don't. I'm gonna wait for the new one with the female Witcher because that looks dope.
It's
dude.
actually really funny. I've actually been seeing a lot of community feedback from that. A lot of people are actually really upset with her character design. And
I
I'm
don't
like,
give a shit. I love it. She's dope, dude.
in my mind, I'm like, well, dude, people are mad that she looks kind of like manly, like masculine, right? But in my mind,
she?
I think so.
Did I watch the right trailer?
Right, so I'm looking at it like
I saw
okay,
a petite little girl wielding two swords and cutting off a dragon's head. And that shit's kind of dope to me. I mean, not a dragon, some
technically
type of
only
creature,
one
but
of those swords would have worked. Technically,
don't go into lore. Okay, we don't need
no.
that.
So no, in a way, I am kind of going to go into lore when it comes to her appearance. So if she's a Witcher, right? So there's never been a female Witcher, right? So I'm very excited about how they're going to expand on that story, right? There's never ever been a female Witcher.
Well, because it's
it was
for people
impossible.
who don't know the background, to be a quote unquote Witcher, to like have that title, it's some type of like trial that you go
Yes,
through.
the trial
right?
of the trial of the grasses, right? And so basically, only 10% of boys would survive. And
and
every
not just
woman
make
that has
it through, but survive, like physically live to tell the tale.
not only do you have to, they basically send you out to a place where you have to fend against yourself unarmed as a boy against monsters, and then they basically chemically change your body, right? And so I'm very curious on how they are going to portray that into her. Are they going to do flashback style? I don't know, but that definitely causes mutation in the body for sure. So I'm
Well,
definitely.
and that's why they all are blonde, right? Because don't
So
all the
te-
Witchers that you see in the universe are like white, that kind of like
so
very
technically,
silver hair?
So technically, no. Geralt is the only one with white hair because he is actually mutated as a young boy because his mother had a lot of magical capabilities. So when he turned into a Witcher, he was like since his mom was
It fucked him up, kind of.
didn't fuck him up, kind of enhanced him in a way. Like all of his Witcher abilities were kind of
But
enhanced like times
it
5.
changed him, and so thus it made his hair a different color.
Absolutely, made
But
his hair
so
white.
question then, because this female Witcher in the trailer has that same white, like silver
So
hair.
that is Ciri. That is Ciri, and Ciri is Geralt's daughter. Through
Okay, so now this is making sense then, because
Yep.
it's not just a random person who
This is
became
where
a
we're
Witcher.
getting into really
It's
big lore,
the
because-
daughter of one of the most powerful Witchers of all time, right? Isn't that Geralt?
Yes. So not by blood. So she was given to Geralt by the gift of surprise. Right.
Brandon, I'm really trying to make this like make sense. Jesus, we're
Absolutely
going deep
right. So basically, if you're too poor to give a gift to the queen, you basically say, "I give you the gift of surprise, where my next born child is yours."
here.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So
All right.
so basically, something happened where
Time,
they
to
offered,
start giving Christmas presents.
right. They offered Geralt the gift of surprise, and
It was
now
just
that's his
a
daughter.
kid?
Yep,
Okay.
that's his daughter.
But
And
not by blood.
So the daughter, Ciri, was born of elder blood, which that is a whole other thing of lore in itself, where she can basically, no joke, this is why it's going to be very exciting for this game.
Is
she
he
can
talking
basically
English, Brandon?
Nope, just nod,
No,
and,
so-
nod and
so
smile.
lost right now,
Nod
dude.
and
So
smile.
Here we go, real quick. So
We
basically,
haven't even started talking about Elden Ring yet.
no, so she's gonna be so OP that I think, because she can technically bend space and time. Like in The Witcher 3, when she's young, she was able to do all this crazy shit with space and time and reality.
And that was before she was a Witcher.
Yes, that was before
Like,
she was a
and
Witcher.
granted their powers as well, kind of.
Yes, so she was only a child of the elder blood. That's it.
Okay.
Which is
Okay.
insane in itself.
But wait, okay, but I'm still confused because in that trailer they call her a Witcher.
Yep,
so is
yep,
she
yep,
or is she
absolutely,
not? So she
absolutely
is.
she's a Witcher.
Okay.
Absolutely
okay,
she's a
so,
Witcher.
So that's kind of the
I think the
not
only
confusion,
way
but
that
that's
she
I
was
guess
able-
the story that will be told in the game is like
Yes.
how she became the
and
first
I
female
think
Witcher.
the
Okay.
only way she possibly could have became a female Witcher is because of the elder blood went against the Witcher potions and everything like
You know,
that.
normally I wouldn't give a shit about a game that's trying to be like, yeah, girls can be powerful too. But they made her hot and she killed a monster in the trailer, and so now I'm all in.
Let me also just say, bro, I'm a feminist, bro. Dude, I love me some Tomb Raider, bro. I love me some Tomb Raider.
Did Hatch just say he was a feminist?
He's a
Brandon?
feminist, I guess.
Hell yeah,
so.
bro. Dude,
right.
She's a
equal rights,
feminist.
equal lefts, bro. Are you serious? Equality. Are you kidding
I
me?
could get behind that. I could
You
get
know what I'm
behind that
saying?
one.
Yeah. Fuck you guys. You guys are feminists too. Men. You know what I'm saying?
But
Right.
yeah, no, that was a bad one, guys. We weren't coordinated at all there. Well, yeah, so that's The Witcher 4. I guess other games from it that I was looking forward to. We talked about Borderlands. We talked about Mafia.
Well, okay, so one other one real quick. So John Helldiver was there. John Helldiver came out
yeah,
and
that was-
announced
that was funny.
the new
Yeah.
Helldivers update, which I've played. That
Brings
shit's
in
sick
the
as fuck.
Illuminate, which are their like, think like aliens versus predators. It's kind of like their alien faction. Like they're kind of like
It's
that.
sick. Yeah, I'm not going to go in too much on the lore because obviously I've been going in crazy much. I want to save some room for Elden Ring. You know what I'm saying? So it's absolutely a blast.
You already spent your 12 minutes talking about video game lore on Witcher. You don't get
You guys
another
were
12
asking,
minutes to
you
talk
guys
about
were asking
Elden
me
Ring.
questions. You guys were asking me questions. This isn't my fault.
Didn't think it went that
God
deep.
Yeah.
This guy, there's no way you guys did
I don't
not
even
think
know.
that.
I'm probably not going to play that game. Like,
That's okay.
that's, so that's, yeah.
Which game you talking about?
Just you.
The Witcher?
Witcher, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said you were
I'll
excited
enjoy
for
it.
it.
I'll see it from afar probably, but
Okay.
I don't know. It's just not my type of game.
Gotcha,
Also,
gotcha.
CD Projekt Red games when they first come out suck absolute dog shit. You got to give them at least a year, and then
You're
they become
absolutely
great.
right about that. The only exception was The Witcher 3.
Was it good on release too?
Absolutely. And that's a solo game,
Okay.
though. That's a solo game. But also, Cyberpunk was a solo game,
Cyberpunk
too.
was solo too. Yeah.
Shit. But, man,
They just-
Witcher 3, that game was a fucking
COVID
masterpiece.
happened, and that's what fucked up Cyberpunk.
So, yeah. And so, finally, last but not least, the games that were announced, Elden Ring, Night Rain.
I
That
know
game,
there's probably other games that I'm forgetting, but all right, we'll let you talk about Elden Ring.
right? So, it's not a DLC. It's going to be its own standalone game.
Dude, I could wrap this up in 4 seconds. Elden Ring, co-op, official. Boom.
There we go.
That's essentially what the game is. It's a new story from the same company that made Elden Ring in the same universe, focusing more on a co-op adventure. It seems that's a lot of the stuff they pointed to was like you playing with your friends. Hatch is probably gonna love it. Day one download for Hatch. I already can guarantee it.
Absolutely.
They've already got their $60 from him. It's pre-ordered, but
I actually heard it's not even going to
won't
be. I actually heard it's not even going to be $60. I heard it's going to be $40.
Damn.
that's dope. That's a FromSoft W or From Software, right? Yeah, that's a W.
Yeah,
for
from
them.
software. So
Yeah.
so they're saying that it's not going to be the price of a full game, but it's not a DLC. It's going to be its own standalone thing.
Okay.
Okay. But they
And so-
kind of already understand it's kind of a smaller property. Like they know they're not giving you Elden Ring 2, so they're not necessarily charging you for
No,
that.
so I think that this is possibly going to be basically the multiplayer for it that is going to be updated forever. Right? That
kind of become like a live service game.
because the
Okay.
way that I was watching the trailer and breaking it down, they were adding boss fights from every single Dark Souls game. Right? I saw the Nameless King in
That's
that
cool.
bitch, right? So and I'm like, holy shit, bro. So my theory is that it's going to be a mixture of every single Souls game with every single boss to where you can do it with your friends.
So Brandon, back me up on this because I genuinely think that Dark Souls, Elden Ring, those type of games from that developer, not just like Souls type games,
Yeah.
are the single most nerdiest video games that have ever existed in this world.
Ooh,
There is nothing cool about them. It is literally
That's crazy.
grind fest.
So-
it is
That's
run your head
nothing
into a
cool
wall
about
until
it.
you learn mechanics.
Oh,
and
Last was about
then
to send you a message, bro. Not
this-
cool.
Here's this cool boss that's 400 years old that you have to hit for 5 hours, and then you're gonna learn his rolling mechanics, and then you can win. Elden Ring. I'll tell you this: that is a type of game I have zero interest in.
That's
Like
okay.
it is an experience that it just to me to play in, not a fun experience.
So one quick question: have you ever tried it?
So Elden Ring, no. Have I played other action adventure type games more in that line? Yes. I do understand there are differences and that there is this whole intrinsic difficulty and rewarding aspect to Elden Ring. That is the whole kind of addiction about it. It is hard at first and you start to become better and it becomes easier, and then through that you feel more powerful and it becomes very satisfying. I get that. I just don't give a shit, bro. Like, I'd honestly rather go play Skyrim, because at least in Skyrim, I feel like there is a story that isn't about 5,000-year-old dragons with, heads that, I don't know. It's just the most anime storyline to me. It loses me. I don't know, man.
I think if you were to look at any kind of
also,
storyline
as a
like that,
whole,
where it's like starting from nothing into something, it'll
I
always be
don't
an anime.
love fantasy
Rocky is an anime story.
lore. I don't love fantasy lore as much as I enjoy sci-fi type lore. That's another big thing for me as well. That's one of the reasons why Elden Ring just from the start will never get me, because I think Warhammer 40K is so much cooler if you look at like this is happening and then that happens and the Tyranids attack and the Space Marines. Like, I just think that's so much more interesting to me as a whole, which is one of the reasons again why I do not care at all about Elden Ring. But yeah. I don't know, man.
I know
it's
Elden
fun
Ring
to play.
I know
and
Elden Ring is going to make a fantastic game. I know it's going to be a good game.
I also get that there are millions of people who still to this day grind that game daily. There's a reason why. They're obviously having fun. It's just not, it's not an experience for everyone.
And the thing is, I know that is going to be a full, complete, worth it game.
Yeah, but I also think that's not as big of a criticism as we move forward. I think what that was a sign of the COVID times, because I think a lot of game developers had their timeline and then COVID fucked it all up. And then their publishers were like, hey, you guys were supposed to deliver us a game in this Q4. And the developers like, well, we have made no progress on it. We don't even have half the game done. But, Sony, Activision, whatever publisher was just like, fuck it, put it out because we need to make money from that product.
Right? So, and that's the thing, right? That's one thing that I don't like. I don't like push it because you have to make money.
Like,
right?
Marvel Rivals just came out. That is a full game. There's statistics. There's great character stuff. There is, all this lore that is in it.
That's what the Baldur's Gate guy was talking about, where it's like, you put quality into your game, right? Don't just push it out just because you need to make money right then and there, right? And I feel like a lot of games did that. And
well, but again, I feel like you're putting the blame on the wrong company. The publishers did that, because there is a difference between a publisher and a developer. Take the new Elden Ring game. From Software is the developer of that game, but was it? I forget their partner, but they announced a partner for it who is publishing it. They're the people who are making the copies, who are getting it into the Steam store, the Epic Game Store, all those, who are handling the marketing, who are handling distribution, all those things. So that way the developer doesn't have to handle that. But the trade-off comes, the publisher owns that game, and they say, hey, I paid you guys X million dollars to develop this game, and it was supposed to be done this week, and it's not done. I can't just sit here and, lose that money because our board is going to get pissed at the next quarter earnings. So I'm just going to put the game out because, again, the publisher isn't really connected to it. Because then there's, the game director is probably like, well, fuck, the game's not done. It looks bad. And now my name's ruined, but my hands are tied because the people who own us are saying we have to release it today. We have no choice.
But the thing is, I think even after you release it, you can still make a good quality after you release it, and it something like that happens,
fair.
right?
That's fair. Chief prime example of that, No Man's Sky. When No Man's Sky came out,
I can give you quite a few
empty
examples.
Shell of a game, but the developer, literally to this day, on that decade-old game, is still developing and making updates and adding things to it and adding quality of life improvements, and that's why that game became good, and people will say, like, reviews changed on it. It went from being a very bad, 2 or 3 type level game to a 6, 7, 8.
Dude, honestly, I could think of a couple games where that happened, right? Like Cyberpunk, perfect example, right? That game
Infinite
sucked.
Tournament Paintball.
Infinite Tournament Paintball.
It gets better every fucking week, man.
Literally, he was just on the Center 50, and I was listening to a little bit of that, and it's really cool the way he's explaining it to those guys because obviously I've spent enough time with Ethan for 2 episodes, right? Guys giving me a lot of knowledge on video games, enough to where I look at any video game now and I'm like, Ethan taught me about that little thingy,
Yeah.
But
a little more background.
Yeah, so I don't even know what was I getting at.
Just the development of game isn't just continuing with it,
right. So
not saying the end date is the release date, but saying almost that's more like a start date.
Look at Helldivers. They had a great, but then the whole Sony thing happened, and that left a lot of people with a bitter taste in their mouth where they never went back.
I would say the difference with a game like Helldivers versus No Man's Sky, though, is Helldivers is meant to be a live service game. It is always meant to be, you're connected online, it gets updates, there's battle passes, there's always content coming to it. Whereas No Man's Sky was meant to be more of like a single player type experience. But the developers still wanted to put time into it and make it a better experience for the people who are just, playing it by themselves. So I do think there's kind of slight differences there. Whereas, Helldivers, if they are successful, they'll make their, couple $100,000 every season that a new battle pass comes out, or this happens or that happens. Whereas No Man's Sky, they only really make money when someone buys a new copy. Well, people don't always buy new copies. I technically own it in my Steam library. I could download it today and play all the updates.
That's a valid point.
I bought it a decade ago, so it's like they haven't gotten any money from me in a long time. So it's just very different styles of like profiting from your business. But yeah, I mean, to No Man's Sky's credit, they're definitely a development team that needs to be called out for pursuing and putting time into something, not because it's going to necessarily make them more money, but because they care and are passionate about their project and wanted to make it better.
One other game that I know that has a dedicated development team shout out to Cedar, 7 Days to Die. That game, dude, They have a dedicated group of people that are all about the passion of the game. Come out one of these days.
But
dude, the thing is, every single update, it's fucking sick. I love playing that game.
It's been in early access since like 2013 still.
Dude, I feel like so many games are so like that, just because it's like they don't have to get that official, 1.0 update out.
So why they do that though, right? Because in Steam, it's a lot easier to update a title and provide like smaller patches and things without having to get them certified or the other steps that come along with it when it is a pre-release title. Once you release it, there's like certain regulations or something like Steam has to go through and look through the update, or there's extra steps that come along with it. A guy like Ethan would know better.
Whatever gets me my game, use that fucking loopholes against Steam, bro. If you make a quality game, be a beta forever.
That's why there are a lot of games on Steam that have been out and have playable, technically deadlocked. The newest MOBA from Valve, which I played a little bit of this last week. That game is probably not going to be officially deadlocked. It's probably not going to be officially released for another 2.5-3 years. there is literally 20 to 30,000 people playing it at any moment in time right now.
Yeah.
You know, as part of like this core early, it's still closed, but it's very easy closed beta to get into. It's a whole kind of interesting situation. But yeah, so it's, I don't know. We're seeing a lot of those type of situations in the gaming side and all that stuff. You know, ways that developers can keep something alive and fresh and new in ways that just weren't possible in the era before platforms like Steam and Epic and, you know, the always online internet.
Yeah, I mean, 2025 is going to be a good year for gaming, honestly, dude.
I think it is. And I think that's where my theory is, and I'm going to always go to this theory. I think the reason why 2020, 2021, and 2022 just sucked for gaming was COVID. I think 100% that's why. It's a type of thing that requires a lot of people. It requires a lot of man hours to make, but they need to be working collaboratively. You know, you need to be able to look at someone else's design and go, oh, my art fits in with your art that you have for the level. If you're, you know, 2 cubicles away, it's a lot easier to just get up and
walk
take
over
5
there and
steps
say, hey,
and go
check this shit out.
Yeah, whereas if you're, you know, on Zoom and you got to send, you know, a freaking Slack request and no one wants to, you know, open that up because Slack is scary and gives people PTSD, and I get that. But so they don't, you know, it's just different. It adds in extra difficulties, and so I'm happy to see games kind of get back to a good spot. The Video Games Awards as a whole was a great show. I do think they kind of messed up with the game that they made Game of the Year. The Game of the Year this year was Astrobots. A lot of people probably have not even heard of that title.
Don't even know.
It was a platforming game, and don't get me wrong, a great little game, you know, a very charming game.
It looked like Little Big Planet.
Very, very reminiscent of early days Sony like platformers, the Crash Bandicoots, the Jack and Dexters, like those type of games, but not Game of the Year material in my opinion. The development team from Wukong Black Myth, which also came out this year and was in the same Game of the Year category, they actually all were crying after that announcement was made. That was a piece of news that I saw a couple people were passing around. They were actually the first Chinese game studio to ever be nominated for Game of the Year. You know, obviously it was something they put a lot of passion and time into, and they were crushed when, you know, they didn't see the reward from that time and passion.
You know, the hard part for me is this is a hot take, right? I don't think any game should be Game of the Year if it's exclusive and only one type of people can play it.
Yep. No, I think you're right there.
If you're limiting the gaming experience, fuck you.
The fact that the only game that was exclusive won Game of the Year is also more suspect. Like, it is kind of weird, you know? Like, why are we giving Sony this, like, exclusive advertisement?
And bro,
like, I don't know.
That's why shout out to Xbox, bro. That's why I will always love Xbox, because they're like, dude, we want everybody to experience our games.
Well, you're having rose-colored glasses there, because there was a point in the time back in the 2010s when
you're absolutely right.
Very fierce competition.
No, you were absolutely right, but we're not there. That's the past.
You're right today with the Xbox Game Pass and how easy it is for a lot of their games that go onto Xbox to be ported over for PC users. I will always have a soft spot for, you know, PlayStation, and that's why Sony still wins, because
I have a soft spot for both of them because they both hold near and dear to my heart, for sure.
No, I know, but that's why Sony is able to get away with a lot of this stuff, is because there's people like me who remember playing Ape Escape on the PS1, and I'm just never gonna hate Sony. I just can't, because nostalgically for me, it's just a part of my childhood.
Yeah. I just don't like Sony because they're exclusive.
I know, you know, you've always been a hardcore Xbox fanboy, and I understand that. You know, everyone's got their own things, but I mean, yeah, for a guy who grew up on Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Dexter,
I grew up on those too.
Yeah, the PS2 was my shit, dude. That was my prime childhood gaming time, was on the PS2, and I loved it.
Absolutely, and let me tell you, when the PlayStation 3 came out, and when I could have had a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox, I chose Xbox. PlayStation 3 even had free live.
That's right? Where the worst game.
But that's why I went PlayStation 3.
So
because my family, dude, 08 was a rough year for us. And
absolutely,
so,
bro.
Free online, that was a big deal to us. Yeah.
Yep, I would sell my games. I would go trade my games in just to get enough to buy a year membership.
To get another month, or
right? I would save up for a year membership. I would have a whole year to save up for a year membership.
I was skipping lunches, pocketing
there
that
were
money.
Dude, that's how I was paying for my paintball, bro. I was double struggling.
Oh,
I'd use my lunch money for paintball, dude. My game money for games, bro. It was rough. fucking. I made my fake age 1991 so I could gamble on game battles and shit, bro. Like, come on, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was a grind out there, bro. If you really did not like grow up in that time, it was a different time on the how you could kind of make money as a kid.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot too was like lawn mowing during the summers. I did that.
Yep, absolutely. I would. One of my neighbors didn't
manual
have
labor essentially.
Yeah, one of my neighbors didn't have any grass. It was all fucking dirt. I say, sir, I'll sweep your rocks. And he said, you got it, $5. And I got $5 for sweeping some rocks.
Hell yeah. All right, Brandon, before we get out of here, I want you to bring up a topic because I feel like for the past hour and a half,
bro.
you've said 4 words. So
I'm sorry, bro.
No.
Is there anything you wanted to talk about tonight? I want to at least give you the chance. You could just be a dick and shut me down and say no, but...
I mean, always, but it's fine. It's fine. So I brought up earlier that, or, before the show, I had some phone issues the other day on Friday, and like set my alarm Thursday night. Supposed to wake up at really early on Friday. Supposed to be at work early, and ended up waking up to Michelle, nudging me like, "Hey, what time are you supposed to be at work?" And yeah,
Michelle's like, "I'm supposed to have the whole
That
bed
is
right now.
never
Please
good, bro."
leave."
yeah, you wake up and fuck, I look at my watch and I'm waking up at the time I'm supposed to be at work. Yeah, and
Yep.
yeah. So, and I have a 45-minute drive.
I have legitimate, like, I know it's funny to say. I'm pretty sure I have legitimate PTSD. There was one time on the road when I was traveling where I slept in past my alarm. The only person who was at the hotel still was the owner of the company, and she came to my room to wake me up. Dude, my heartbeat was fucking going out of my chest, bro. Like that, you wake up right to just sheer panic and terror.
Yes.
It is. Oh God, it's the worst thing ever.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Your Friday morning sounded like it started well.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I woke up in the middle at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and to try to check the time, and like my phone worked then. So, yeah, I grabbed my phone. I'm like, what happened? Because I had like 5 alarms set, and I'm like hitting
5?
buttons.
It was one of those mornings. You're like, I need to be up.
Yes.
No, so Apple has said this, and they say sometimes if your iPhone is face up to where it can see your face, it detects it as activity to where it's like your alarm's not going to go off. You're looking at it.
Well, so
Bullshit. My alarm still goes off. Maybe
No,
I'll have an old
that's
phone.
just what I've heard.
well,
I read an online article about it about
So-
iPhones alarms not
so
going off.
I had it on my charger, and I have the wireless charger, the pan that you just put it on, and
He's fancy.
Rich guy. Money.
So I've had it on there, and I grab my phone. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? Nothing's lighting up. I'm hitting buttons. I'm holding buttons. Like, what the fuck? Plugging in chargers. And I even had Michelle call me. Nothing. It went straight to voicemail. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is going on?
He's died?
Brick of a phone.
Yeah. So I use Michelle's phone. I call the surgery center, the front office, like, hey, can you let the people in the back know, like, I'm on my way. My phone's fucked, but I'm on my way.
Yeah. This is a one-time situation. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
I am late, but I am on my way.
Yeah. So
There was a zebra. There was a baby and a zebra in the middle of the road.
and so I went down.
Kevin Hart classic.
I went downstairs and I quickly grab everything. About to run out the door. I'm like, you know what? I'm already late. Let me make some coffee. So of course, get the coffee. I go out and I have no idea. It's like 7 o'clock now. Usually traffic starts to hit on one part of the freeway. I'm like, dude, this is gonna suck. I don't know if I'm even gonna be there in 45 minutes. And I have no way to check. My
Yeah,
phone's
because you
dead.
have no phone, so you're just,
Yeah. So like
You're
I start.
living in 1994 again.
Dude, yeah, I start to drive. I'm like, let me turn on the radio, I guess. Turn on the radio. I'm like, dude, this sucks. All right.
The radio pisses me off now.
Yeah, me too. I can't stand
Pisses
it.
me off.
You're listening to all the hits on 107.9.
Yeah.
The end.
After these 7 commercials, and you'll listen to 2 songs and another, yeah. And so I'm driving, and I'm
That's why you got to tune into the Power Hour on 103.4 The Live. A full hour of commercial-free radio coming at you in your car. But we are going to stop every 5 minutes and talk for 10 of them, so it's not really music the whole time. Sorry, that's just, you triggered me on something there, Brandon.
Jesus. So yeah, so I'm driving in, and I'm getting anxious. I'm like, fuck, dude. They're gonna be pissed, but like, there's nothing I can do. I'm so fuck. And then I think I'm like, actually, even if they are pissed, they can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about it. If they're trying to call me, like, who fucking cares? Whatever. I like grab my phone's in between my legs. I grab my phone. I toss it on my seat. I'm like, go fuck yourself. and I'm driving. I was like, dude, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, damn, this is.
Brandon remembered he had free will. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what this was.
I felt so free. I'm like, I could just kind of stroll on in and hey, look, my
Man, I was like,
phone's
I
working,
could
but
totally like go across the divider into oncoming traffic if I really wanted to. Right now.
yeah, I could just.
Yeah.
I would love if Brandon's like, I could just be a free man. Takes a day trip to the Bay by himself or something.
God.
Like, just
Gives himself a nice churro.
You know what? I'm gonna start a new life.
It's like, I've always wanted to drive to Bend, Oregon in one day. Fuck it, let's see if we can do that.
Hell yeah, no phone. Oh my god.
Oh, that's so sketchy.
Yeah, and yeah, it was just that drive. It was very pleasant, honestly. Besides the radio
No
was
wife
gay, but
blowing you up,
yeah. God, leave
I can't
me
believe we didn't
alone.
turn off the
ball
radio.
and chain,
I needed something. I needed some noise.
Okay, Hatchet, that's more psychopath behavior to just
In
the
silence. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just weird
Just driving home.
because my thoughts are louder than any radio, bro.
I mean, I've definitely had drives where like that, where you get in the car and you're like thinking about something, and like you're like 5 minutes down the road, and you're like, oh shit! Like
Yeah.
It's like
how
all
did I
of a
get
sudden
here?
I was in
Like,
like a traumatic trance to where I like couldn't, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, I'm home.
trans? What?
Like
Yeah.
trance
Like,
state. What's that
trance.
called?
Highway
hypnosis. Yeah,
Hypnosis.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right. And I'm just like, oh shit.
Turn on autopilot.
Yeah, but it was so freeing, and I remembered, like how, again, back in the day before phones, right? I remember my dad had paper maps, and looking at paper maps and
MapQuest?
and it do even MapQuest, but like legit paper maps. Looking at paper maps, we traversed my first cross country road trip that I took when I was able to drive finally. We traversed with maps. Like,
How fucking old are you, bro?
oh no, we had our
What
phones.
the fuck?
But it was like no.
He was
We're
doing it as
this
a
with maps.
choice.
Like,
It wasn't a necessity.
It was me,
Okay.
my little sister, my mom, and my grandma. We're like, no, we're doing this with maps because it's fun. The cool shit that you could just find, like looking at a map, like, wow, this is holy shit. Like, maybe let's go here. The wild shit that we found, we stumbled across. And it's fun, and I don't think people know how to read maps now. I mean, I even told Michelle, I was like, if we honestly plan a cross country trip somewhere, I like those. I want to do it with
I do
maps.
like road trips.
Yeah, road trips are
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
You got to get Michelle in like a land nav course, bro. Got to teach her how to use a fucking compass and map, bro.
Well, yeah, fuck. I
Got to
know.
be able to find yourself on the grid coordinates and then
Gonna be rough.
figure out how to get the fuck out of there.
Dude, but do
You
even
teach her how
say-
to use. You teach her how to use those maps. I'll teach my girlfriend how to use like the water maps with like the section and shit, to where it's like where we can go on the water. Really conquer all. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and then you guys are just going to be sailing the seven seas. You're going to be the next sailing with Vagabond.
Arg.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
no, don't break your back. All right.
Hey, let me say.
Oh, God. Well,
No, let me just say.
I wasn't talking about it like that, all right, Brandon?
I have the perfect
I love
captain's
Tegan.
mustache.
Tegan is literally one of the best people I've ever met in my life. She's not Elena. You know what I
No.
mean, Brandon?
Nah,
That's, yeah.
No. Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Hell yeah.
Yeah, don't
It's okay. It is literally not a bad thing about Tegan, you know?
Nice.
It's
Hell
not, yeah. Yeah.
Brando, you can be my first mate.
I'll be your mate.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. The girls are just
So
there.
who's breaking their back?
The girls are just there to fucking mop
And
and cook.
cook.
And then does FTS Kyle get invited at some point along the way?
Now we're taking airsoft fatty on.
Oh, you take Fatty? Damn. All right. That would be a good time. That'd be
We're
a lot of
gonna
fun.
get
It'd pretty
big
much
boat.
just be fish tank 2.0. Just put
Yeah,
a camera up there
We'll
and
come
you're good.
all the way around, and we'll come pick you up. Get to the very bottom of Texas, almost Mexico.
Go through the Panama Canal.
We'll go.
to
Yeah,
get
we're
to the
going
Gulf of
all the way
Mexico.
around.
Oh, you're going Cape. You're going old school status,
yeah.
like
Jesus.
around the South American
to
Cape.
where it starts
Damn.
to get cold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
rough
that boat
waters
get
down there.
rocking.
Yep. So that'd be a sick ass adventure, bro. Could
That
you
would be.
imagine? Could you imagine the FTS podcast we could have on a boat?
Could you imagine the FTS podcast going to Japan? That'd be such a good
would be
time.
some
I feel like that would be
fucking dope-ass
amazing.
Content. Oh
That'd
my
be-
god,
I'd love to go to Japan.
I'm definitely.
It's on my list for sure. Well, all right, guys. That's most of the stuff we wanted to talk about tonight. We got a little sidetracked there, gotten into this gaming stuff kind of hard. But I do know we went kind of hard on the paintball stuff as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, had a good time with us. If you are a Patreon member, I would not tune away because we have a very exciting, hyped up. We have a fun episode of the post show that we are going to be doing tonight. And it only airs behind the paywall on Patreon. But we are going to be doing another playlist update. Unfortunately, when we do those on YouTube, they completely demonetize and kill the show. So that's why we are now doing those behind the paywall over on Patreon. So as a part of the post-show series, which we do every week now after the show, we record an extra 30 minutes plus for our Patreon members only. If you want to get access to those, got to make sure to go sign up over there. But we will have another one tonight. It's going to be fun. But we're going to get into that in just a few minutes here. Before we do that, I got to remind you guys of the things that we do at the end of every show. One of the things is a code word of the week. I need one of those from Hatch.
Oh man, so all right, so with the new additions, with all the paintball stuff, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm rambling on because I totally fucking forgot, right? So the way how we're gonna go about this is, shit, dude. Let me think, dude.
You want a cool
It's
guy of the
just a
week
code
first?
word.
Yes, I do want to
Yeah,
go guy of the week.
all right,
first.
all
right, I got
cool
you.
guy of the
I
week.
fucking slipped my mind, bro.
All right, I got you. I just sent it in the chat. Instagram right now. Cool guy of the week is Marne Max. I think he's Mexican from Mexico, and this is a MMA
From
fighter
Is Mexican from Spain?
España. This is a MMA fighter that has one arm, and dude just goes out there round one and knocks out this guy with one arm.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's badass. Even in the clip, like he gets the guy up against the cage. He like staggers him, hits him with his actual hand, and it's like it's just past his elbow, right? He has a little nub.
So I actually, it's funny. I actually knew a girl like this when I was growing up doing theater. She actually had this same disability where I don't know the proper term for it, but it's right around the elbow. The arm stops growing, and so there's this little hand that kind of gets developed there.
Fingers, yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, if you haven't ever seen this, just think it looks like someone had their arm taken off, kind of right around their elbow.
Yeah.
That would
It's
be
like-
the best image.
It's as if someone tried to like make the rest of their arm into a balloon animal.
Hatch, you say the fucked up shit.
But it's spot on. That is I never.
not tell.
Kind of.
That is
I
not
see what
true,
you're
bro.
saying. Hatch, we're still on YouTube. You can't be saying this shit, dog. Wait until the fucking Patreon post show to be saying out of pocket shit about disabled people. God damn it, dog.
He just want to fight. He doesn't look disabled at all. He looks enabled.
If you watch that
Are you
video,
telling me he is
throws
not
that
a-
nub. He throws that nub
does
for
throw the
sure.
nub.
Yeah.
He does throw a nub.
Dude, let me tell you, dude, your depth
that is
perception
the-
on that is
Hatch,
probably way different.
Hatch, that is the definition of a disability.
could you
He
imagine
doesn't
the
have the
fucking-
same amount of arms and legs that you and I do. What are you talking about, Hatch?
Boom! Dude, your depth perception on that bitch, dude, you're not seeing
I
that
want
shit
to get
coming,
out.
bro.
Not
This
this is gonna be the
shit
section.
coming, bro.
This is gonna be the clip section on Twitter, and I'm gonna have to defend it, and everyone's gonna be coming at me.
No, I'm
And
just
gonna be
saying.
Like, no, it was Steven Hatch.
No,
Come
let me tell
after
you,
him.
that guy, you do not know the depth on that. Usually, you're like, all right, a guy with a normal fist, a normal arm, you usually know the range of what he's gonna punch.
Okay,
That's like-
Hatch, can we? This is cool guy of the week. All right, we get it. Yes, great for him. Cool guy of the week. I don't want to hear any disrespect. Marin Maxey, you want to fight? You literally have one hand. That's fucking sick, dude. Congratulations. Yeah.
Badass.
We fucking love that. And by the way, Hatch, you're supposed to be coming up with a code word. So if you still don't have one, it's on you.
Yeah. Ready for this one?
All right, what's the code word?
Subscribe to the post show, baby. Subscribe to the post show.
Subscribe to Patreon. That's the
Subscribe to
code word?
Patreon. Yep.
All right.
Subscribe to Patreon so you can actually get some cool content that's not going to get demonetized in a second. So
all right, I finally got that all written down. So yeah, make sure subscribe to Patreon. That's the code word this week, which is just Hatch marketing in the code word now. I don't know, but
it's good marketing.
Cool guy of the week. Shout out Marin Maxi. I also have to remind you guys, if you're listening to us on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, make sure you drop a rating or a like on the show. It's a free thing to do. It helps support us here on the show. It takes just a couple seconds of your time. I think it is a very fair trade-off, and one of the ways that you can, help us grow over here or help us get out to a new audience that may also enjoy, hearing about Hatch talking about balloon animals in people's arms. You can also subscribe to the show on those platforms as well. It's just going to give you a notification when the next version of the show is live and ready to go. One of those things as well that free to do, helps us out, makes us look good in the algorithm. So if you take the second to do so, I would definitely appreciate it. If you do want to support us monetarily, as we mentioned, you can go check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Mafia_Productions. As you heard on there, we are going to have the bonus show. The post show is now weekly out on there as well. Hatch is breaking up about something. I'm muting his mic at this point.
No, the comment.
I've muted his mic at this point. I'm going to finish these and get through this. Patreon.com/Mafia_Productions. Access to ad-free versions of the show, bonus content. You get early access to the show as well. There's a lot of great things. Head over there if you want more information and want to check that out. We have the merchandise website, xxvthelabel.com. Head over there. They have the collection on their website. They've helped us out with all of our merchandise stuff. We appreciate the guys over there. And then last but not least, I got to talk about our sponsors. Tonight we had liquidiv.com, and as Brandon does his, I'm going to do mine. So chug. All right, you make that look easier than it is, Brandon.
I know how to swallow.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, you do. But Liquid IV, appreciate you guys. Head over to liquidiv.com. Use promo code Mafia_Mafia to save 20% off and get free shipping at checkout. Oh, God, it's coming back up, Brandon. We also have NECTR.energy, NECTR.energy. Head over to their website, NECTR.energy, promo code MafiaProductions to get a buy two, get one free at checkout. And last but not least, Welts Clothing, weltsclothing.com, promo code FTS over there on their website. And save 10% off at checkout. All right, well, thank you to all of our sponsors who helped put us on the show. Thank you to our merchandise website. XSV Label helps us out with that. And yeah, guys, thanks to our audience who wanted to tune in for another show. This has been a fun one. As I said, we are not done tonight. We're going to be recording another one on the Patreon. So if you're interested, make sure you go head over there, do that. Words are no longer easy. I'm losing it. I've talked for way too long tonight. Yeah. Brandon said maybe 12 words the whole show.
Whoa. Hey, check out our playlist. All right. After you hear this, check out the playlist.
We literally can't tell you what the theme of the playlist is on YouTube because Hatch came up with it and it is not TOS friendly. But if you stick around and check it out on Patreon, you'll be able to know and be in the know. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for us here tonight on From the Sidelines. For my two co-hosts, Stephen Hatch and Brandon Brando Baird, this has been episode number 125 of From the Sidelines, and we are going to catch you guys on the next one. Hatch, do that thing you do.
Bye.
We'll see you guys later.